But you've got a special treat today. You've got Obi, and of course, Joe. Sharif on vacation, enjoying...
Joby.
Yeah, you got Joby.
You're going to be trading some Joby
He's
today.
enjoying himself in Cabo. Well, I guess maybe he's not there yet. I have no idea.
Who knows?
But he's enjoying much better weather than we are. That's for sure. And you guys are about to enjoy a fantastic show middle of the day. Go get him, Obi. Go get him, Joe.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Man, Obi, we just stepped in the door. We're seeing some things head a little bit lower. Had a doctor's appointment this morning, so came in a little late, but that doesn't matter. We're here to rock and roll. You know who it is. It's your boy, Joe. It's my guy, Obi, next to me, and we're ready to rock and roll. Let some of these people get in the chat. Who do we got? Steph, bro. Okay, what's up, Steph, bro? Sharif is not in the building today. It's Obi, KC526. You're getting the love from her, Obi. Quad heart on that one. Chi Badu, let's see who we got in the chat. We're going to do a little roll call. Byron Hart. Adara says, Long Joby. What's up, Adara? Hope you're having a fantastic morning. Christoph Ocean, bro, hope you're having a great day. No. I hope you're having even a better day. Welcome, Obi says, yummy Thai foods. Yeah, Stepbro always gets a shout out. Yeah, I don't know why, man. It's just out there. We got Bull Trapper. What's up, my friend? Oh, tell me you're short without telling me you're short biased. All right. Ano Perese. We butchered that one. Self-affiliate? All right. We like that one. Yannick Nesbeth constantly in the building. Waiting for my guy, Gorev, Jay, Los Pollos, Hermanos. And who else do we got? Save Man, Woman, Peace. What's going on? John Tantrum, what's up, my friend? Jag, you're in there. Jody Mills. I hope you're having a fantastic morning and a good trading session. High vibrations. A couple more out here. We got Durante Golden and Bhavin Patel. Hope everyone's having a fantastic morning. How has the trading session been thus far, Obi?
Not too bad. Good to know everything's good with the doctor's appointment there.
Thank you.
Yeah, earnings day one on Nvidia. Sorry.
Ooh.
Not too bad. I was saying good to know that doctor's appointment went well.
Perfect.
Earnings day one today for Nvidia, and what a chop, man. I don't know if you were watching this in Blue Ocean last night, but it was absolutely nothing. At the beginning, remember I said this last night. I was in the chat during the recap show. I was just like, I was watching the earnings release, and I was like, yeah, Blue Ocean could be very, very interesting, but you got to be wary, because there are definitely sharks in the water, and sharks there were. Some tight consolidation, some shake and bake, some craziness. I can show you my chart a little bit later. I got chopped up on the initial part of the night, and then later on, you saw that breakout come in. That was really nice as well. And then there was second and third legs going into 1:30 and 3:30 a.m. as well. And I was just like, I really, really wanted to stay up.
Yeah,
but I was like, I got to come in today, so I'm just like, I can't stay up. So I took that stop loss at midnight. I was like, all right, call me Cinderella. I'm gone. The party's over. I'm out of here. I'm out of here at the strike of midnight, and I went to bed after that. So, but opportunities galore, definitely in the overnight session and in the intraday session as well. This 195 was pretty interesting last night as well. And once again, coming in as a little bit of an area of supply coming into the day here. We've attempted to push up through those 195s, through those opening ranges highs. I tried the longs in the morning. 192 halves got long, 193s got long, 194s got long, view up hold got long, through the 195s got long. But guess what? No follow through. And I was just like, all right, well, if this is not going to go right away and the market's going to take a little bit of a turn, I don't necessarily want to be involved anymore. And that was a great decision, because since then, we've only been trekking to the downside. And I see that you have a short. I also had an Apple short as well from 275s. Didn't hold that one because I was just like, high probability, reversion to VWAP, definitely there. Take it.
No, Katina, man, you're going to the gym. Oh, I thought you were going to say, oh, okay, all right. I was going to say, you can't have a cookie before the gym. Katina, man, how long have I been in the building?
5 minutes.
Already got $1 on NVDA to the downside. Let's go. Come on. Yeah, there we go, man. No, in all seriousness. Yeah, Obi, so a lot of chop going on. I wasn't surprised because out of its, I think it's the previous 4 earnings report, NVDA has only exceeded the expected move once, so it's stayed within that range. So it's not the best for options traders, whatsoever, especially if you're playing the straddle looking for a move outside of that expected move, or the implied move, sorry. So yeah, there it goes. It's moving to the downside. I have a strong hunch that it's going to fill the gap that it put in from yesterday. And also, what we're going to do here, Obi, you're not in anything. You're flat right now. That's pretty good. I think that's smart to sit on our hands for a little bit. But we've seen this on multiple occasions before, and as long as I've been sitting in this chair, we've talked about it. We've been monitoring the open interest essentially throughout the options chain and leading into earnings report, because that can tell us a world. And what we're seeing here right now at that $200 strike price, 169,000 contracts, guys, 160,000 traded. So that is a massive supply zone. And that's what I was personally thinking leading into the earnings report. And you can see that it put in a high yesterday of around 198.55, and then it rejected extremely aggressive. So with that being said, with us collecting our data and going from previous, I guess, pattern recognition via the open interest in the options chain is, hey, are we not going to look to somewhat fade this level, especially when it gets extremely close to that $200 price target? I think that's something that needs to be noted and most definitely documented. Regardless of how extended this move can get, I think that it's really important. And as soon as I seen, once again, we were talking about it over the past couple of weeks as well too, is the floors being broken in multiple underlying assets and then more continuation. Well, where do we see this? Let's pull up on NVDA one more time here so we can see it a little bit more clearly. Floor, right? You have that definitive base. You have multiple touches at that specific level, and then sure enough, you break through it. Floor. Sure enough, you have enough of those multiple touches at that specific level. You guessed it, you broke through it. And it's the same thing across the board in a lot of these names. The Nasdaq, not as clean, but how many more examples do we need? Neckline, I'm calling them floor, but we can call them neckline, whatever you will. But when you have these multiple touches and then you have the underlying actually leading towards these levels once again, especially when the sentiment's wishy-washy, I'm going to be looking to take those fades, Obi. And thankfully, what I've noticed over my past little while and throughout this week's session, the longer I wait, so if I wait 45 minutes to an hour and not get chopped up out of the open, I have a much higher success rate. And sure enough, I'm just going by the system, playing the breaks of some necklines here, Obi. Yeah, I got to get my word. I'm tripping over my words here. I got to get in the groove, bro.
Yeah, no worries. Take your time getting into the groove, man. This market is grooving to the downside right now. Some more extension, 25,000. I may or may not have mentioned that price on the Nasdaq a couple of times there over the past couple of weeks, or maybe even a couple of months if you guys have been watching. But yeah, a little bit of a magnet once again pulling into that 25,000. We broke above it. We consolidated. We held really, really well in the pre-market session, and a bit of a reversion happening there right now. The Apple reversion was absolutely beautiful after the morning strength, and that's getting a bit of a continuation now as well with the lower high. Let me know what you guys are trading. We'll be right back from Madera.
Yeah, I want to let you guys know, Amazon with some announcements here. They're apparently planning on investing at least $3 billion in Warren County, New York. Now, it's unclear where that's going to go. It's likely a lot of these announcements do have to do with AI, but of course, if I get details, you know me, I'll give them to you guys right away. In terms of talk from Trump, there's nothing scheduled right now. He is scheduled to have a meeting here at 2 p.m. He's going to be meeting with some former hostages, but that seems to be closed press, so unlikely it'll be on camera. However, guys, at 1 p.m. Eastern, we are going to get a press conference with White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. As we know, people can ask questions related to these publicly traded companies or the market in general at any time, so I will be covering that for you at 1. In the meantime, though, no Trump-related news right now. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. So yeah, other than that, that's what I got going on, guys. You can see we're short 192.63s in NVDA, and that's a couple dollars, so we'll take that one. Is there anything that you have specifically your eye on, Obi, or what you're finding somewhat attractive here? Yeah, guys, I know we're talking a lot about Bitcoin. It's going to continue to bleed. Look at the volume pickup. That next level is going to be probably the mid-80s.
I mean, when you're saying something attractive, I'm definitely watching this backside here, looking and waiting for the reversion, right? I'm just like, all right, I was involved with the selling off of the opening dissipation where the bid kind of dissipated, and then I'm just like, all right, now I'm being patient. I technically should still be in this short. And I think someone in the chat, Adrian in the chat, was saying, so painful, took Apple short at its peak and exited at 274s. You know what? It is what it is, man. I took a similar trade. I was watching it at the highs. I waited a little bit. I waited for the lower high to kind of get a little bit more aggressive, and the trade was just reversion to VWAP for me. This is a trade in itself. I think this continuation, maybe if you want to call it, I wouldn't necessarily call it an FLS, but just a little bit of a later fade with a lower high, with the market also stepping in, and then Nvidia breaking down its lows as well. So the whole market taking a bit of a turn here. There goes Amazon through its day's lows, so I'm being patient. Q's reversion saying Frank Rizzo, so shout out to that. Anybody who had this reversion on the ES and the Nasdaq is straight chilling as we are going to these range consolidation lows here from the overnight session. You can see this here as well on the ES. The Nasdaq maybe a little bit stepping in front of the ES, a little bit closer to its consolidation low than when compared to the ES here as well. But yeah, let me know what you guys are trading. I think there's definitely something going on. We got some breaking news with Adara.
You know, you never want to speculate as to why things are moving, but I do have to mention these comments from Fed's Cook because she did warn of a possible drop in the market. She said that high valuations in stocks, corporate bonds, housing, and leveraged loans all increase the risk of sharp market declines, though she did say that the financial system remains resilient. Now, she began speaking at 11 a.m., which is around when we got this drop. So be aware here, Fed's Cook making some comments that could be not necessarily well received here by the market, given that she does expect it to drop in a couple different areas named. Again, if we get more comments from Fed's Cook, I will let you know. Also, in the geopolitical side of things, I'm seeing comments that the offices of Prime Minister Volodymyr Zelensky in Ukraine received a peace plan draft from the U.S. So Russia-Ukraine tensions also going to be on watch here on the geopolitical side of things. Keep an eye potentially on oil with that in mind as we send you back to Joby.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, other than that, guys, man, we're rocking and rolling right now.
Are you doing some Hadouken?
What's that one you were telling me?
Kamehameha.
No, not
what?
What's it called? It's not coming to me.
What are we talking about? With reference to what?
The martial arts. The martial arts.
Krav Maga.
Krav Maga. Krav Maga.
Yeah,
That's it right there.
Okay.
Krav Maga. That's my Krav Maga. There, Obi. Man, this
market's getting Krav Maga
to
the ground right here.
Listen, man.
Some eye gouging happening.
It's definitely some Krav Maga going on right now, guys, as it's continuously bleeding, and IBIT just getting absolutely slaughtered right now. So we're opening up around $52. You're down $2 from that point, and there goes the floor once again, man. Being led by the likes of NVDA to the downside, 189.02, 190 roughly. So not too bad of a look whatsoever. 193 would have been ideal, but we're not going to get overly greedy on that one now, are we? So we'll be patient and we'll look for some more primetime opportunities. But we're just getting in here. We're starting to settle a little bit here, guys. But a nice start to this morning. I might have to do this more often. Obi just come in around, obviously being sarcastic, but not too bad. Whenever I'm just settled in, I'm just like, hey, all right, I see something, just take it. And then sure enough, we have the ability to rock on this NVDA trade. What I'm noticing here is, if I see something, say something.
Yeah,
says
exactly.
Assassino. All right.
That's a TTC motto.
Is that the TTC motto?
Yeah. They say it in the transit, right? They're just like,
you
see something, say something.
Aren't they working? They're like working on something new in there where it's there's gonna be like policing. Oh, they'll call you out now if you're causing a ruckus on the subway.
Yeah.
They'll call you out. They'll be like, hey, you with the blah blah blah, stop doing that over the intercom.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow,
I was listening to it the other day. So
precision targeting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. They'll lock you down.
That's good.
100%.
No, this morning, dude, there was two of the transit officers standing at Finch Station as you kind of come in, as just a horde of people coming in. It's the morning. I was going to say morning session. It's the morning time, and then they're just watching, making sure everyone taps on, just making sure because there's people that just rush in.
Just run
behind.
through.
There's been times where, dude, like I'll walk in and then you see some dude just like creepily like lurking behind, and then he's just trying to get in right behind you.
Bro,
right?
it's like we know what you're doing.
Like we know what's happening.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah, that's what people. Oh. My little brother is
190
that. He's a fair inspector for TTC.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. So I said, hey man,
I've only gotten clocked on the Go fair once.
The Go, yeah.
Because like I was running for the train, because you know how the train leaves like 2 minutes early now, 1 or 2 minutes early.
Yeah.
So I was just jetting for the train, and I forget to tap on, and there's nowhere. Here's the skim scam. There's nowhere to tap on the train itself. You can only tap in the station, but every other transportation around the city, you can tap inside the vehicle.
It's too logical.
That's so crazy.
It's too logical to have the taps on the machine, in the train.
In the train, right? Come on.
It makes too
I
much
ran
sense.
into the train. I'm like, I'm willing to tap. I don't care. Like, I'm willing to pay for this. I just had to make the timing.
If it makes too much sense,
Government of Ontario, that's what Go stands for.
We gotta.
You need to sort
there's a new
yourself out.
line though. Oh man,
50
we're
pennies
cooking
lower
up.
from 190 break. Oh my God. Here we go.
There it goes, man.
When reversion.
When reversion. Oh man, I don't know if I'm going to be looking for that today, Obi. I mean, APLD, I have my eyes on. AMD continuously bleeding, and a beautiful 192.81 break on NVDA. That's what I was looking at over here, guys. You can see that right here, 192.81, and then we're continuously moving lower. And this is what I'm talking about. Necklines being broken here, and then look at the flushes to the downside. This is Tesla as well too. Over the past couple of sessions, the strongest one. And if we're going to look at Google, this could be even an entry as well too at the break of that specific level, guys. So keep an eye out. I only have 10% left of my position remaining as NVDA has been cooking up, and this is what I like personally as a momentum trader. Man, oh man, it feels pretty good sitting on some cash right now, waiting to get some of these names at some better prices. So we like that. NVDA was the trade of the day. Obi, I know you're going to be patient and wait for some potential pullbacks in the overall market. But right now, we're going to send it off to Adara.
Yeah, I do want to remind people, in case people are wondering why this market's dropping, again, you never want to speculate exact reasons, but it is interesting. Around the time we had this drop, we also got comments from Fed's Lisa Cook. She did say that due to some concerns here with high valuations in stocks, corporate bonds, housing, and leveraged loans increasing, she thought that there could be a case for the market potentially dropping. However, she did say that the financial system remains resilient, despite the fact that she forecasts sharp market declines. Again, some negativity from Fed's Cook with regards to not just like rates, but just the market in general, potentially spooking some traders here. Back to you.
All right, so yeah, that's what I got going on, Obi. I know you're still waiting for things. Man, I only got really one more out here. I mean, I may as well just post up at 88 to see if we can get that in NVDA. Other than that, I got to wait for a potential reload, so that's going to be a pullback, hopefully not too deep. Anything south of 192.50, then I think that's going to be a solid opportunity to add a little bit of shares here for the continuation to the downside. I want to take a look at the name from a daily perspective as well to see if we've filled that gap completely. Not quite. So, I mean, we gap up from 188.08, and then sure enough, we're trading at 189.50s roughly, so not too bad. But one thing to note, guys, you can see this across the board as well, too. And I've seen that on multiple occasions, 5-minute prints, is that buyers are trying to step in, but the sellers are just dominating and keep pushing price lower. So what Gaurav, Jag, and I, and a bunch of traders in the chat are going to be looking for is inverted hammer, or a hammer candle at an extreme low. But you can see that they're starting to print, but the sellers step right back in, keeping the momentum most definitely to the downside. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 minutes of straight red candles in the overall market, guys. Let's see if we can find a bounce. And if we do, I'm going to suspect that, hey, I don't think it's going to be that deep, to be honest. Could I be wrong? Obviously, and hopefully I am. But what we can see is that from our volume profile on the 5-minute intervals, you can see a steady stair step higher. And sure enough, that's just going to tell me that the sellers are most definitely in vogue here today, Obi.
Yeah, for sure. Sellers are very, very dominant right now. So I'm looking for breakdowns. We saw Amazon break down its day low. So what is lagging behind? Alphabet. Google right now is about to break that 300. So that 300 incoming on Google. Let's pull that one up here and take a quick look as that potentially comes in here. Only about a quarter away from that. You can see the book right here, and straight beeline down to day's lows right here on Google as the Nasdaq, the market, and pretty much everything print some fresh lows. So let's take a look at this breakdown here. Softies coming into prior day's low. It's still about a few dollars away from that. There's the spider pushing into, well, towards prior day's low as well. So yeah, a little bit of a gap up on spider today. Makes sense with the Nvidia push there. 300 incoming on Google. I'm curious to know, a lot of people in the past couple of days and even this morning positioning in and around that 300. That 300 hold off of the opening range low was absolutely beautiful as it held and continued to push aggressively all the way to 306s. So $6 move on Google. And then a full-on reversion, 100% reversion, a failure to follow through of those range highs from the pre-market session brings us right back in to those range lows here as well. So yeah, I really, really did like the short much earlier, but I chose Apple as a bit of a vehicle, and it wasn't as clean, but it's coming in with the nice follow-through as of right now. So let me know in the chat, what are you guys trading? Are you guys short anything? Are you guys being patient? Are you guys sitting on your hands? We talk about this a lot over the past month. I was just like, some of the best opportunities in this market is where you're just sitting and observing on your hands, and then that opportunity shows up. It almost yells out at you. It's like, just like, hey,
that was the one, man.
You know, exactly. You came in, you sat down, you saw something that was yelling at you. You were like, it doesn't make sense for me not to be in this.
Yeah, exactly.
You punch in, you put in the risk, and then you're just like, all right, where's the next trade? And that's the beautiful part about this market. If you're patient, it will show itself. But if you're trying to be aggressive and you're trying to make something happen and you're trying to force trades, good luck, man. That's never really worked for me or anyone that I've really talked to either. No. So you can never really be forcing trades. Might work every now and then, but don't give yourself a false sense of hope in the long run.
Obi, you know what's funny? And I think that's the beautiful thing about this show. Yeah, exactly, Dinkelberg. D. Westermeyer, nice work on the Dow Jones puts as well, too. We talked about this before, Obi. It's almost best to be slightly distracted when you're trading. So you're not just hyper-focused on everything. Adara agrees on it as well, too. And that's the beauty about this show, is that so you're not just hyper-focused, and if you're distracted, like I get it, you obviously want to pay attention, but if you're micromanaging everything, that's when you start to really fall in trouble and like, The more relaxed and at ease you can be, I think for me is better. So again, I mentioned earlier in this, like about 20 minutes ago or so, just before we started, I'm like, hey, I came in here, I was not prepared, but I seen something that I was like, hey, I have to take this setup once again. And that just kind of just correlates with trading. And when I was sitting at home, I found that some of my best days are me being like, hey, I'll listen to some music here. I'll focus on the market, but I'm not heavily invested like, oh, okay, watching every up and down tick, because you'll go crazy at that point. And we tend to do that from a day-to-day basis. But when you're just nice and relaxed, it's like, okay, you'll fill out an email there. You're shooting a text here. You got music going on over here. You're letting the market do its thing. And you're just like, it's a glance. Oh, it's not, the price isn't where I want it to be. Glance, oh, price is starting to head to exactly where I want it to be. This is the setup I'm looking for. Let's take it. And then sure enough, you go and you do your own thing. You play a game of chess or something along those lines, and not hyper-focus and micromanage each position. And that's when I find myself to be in the most trouble. But 188.70 now, NVDA is trading at, as we continue to bleed a little bit more, man. That's $4 just like that, Obi. Obviously, we would love to have more shares, but at the same time, we want to be thankful for what we have, and that's a nice little move to the downside in NVDA. Now, I want to pull up AMD's daily because I do believe we're going to be able to get some nice price. I already had it up. I don't know why I typed it in again. I believe we're going to be able to see some nice price action here to the downside and get AMD at some better prices here. And this is what I'm talking about, just necklines being broken, and you can see that we're starting to breach that right now at 224.78. And I mean, that's not too bad of a look. Once you start to head in towards this floor, then I think that's a thing of beauty. And oh, last night I was doing a little bit of just TA on the overall market, and I got some cool things that I want to display to you guys. I think it's pretty cool. Iggy Yosa, you got the Trader TV Live putting on the vibes. Go to not go crazy. Yeah, exactly. So listen to Joe Winsome. He speaks. Thanks, Greg Moore. I appreciate that. Dangerous, I agree. Mr. Wilson. Yeah, so it seems like to be the narrative is that, hey, you don't want to micromanage. Be slightly distracted and have everything on the side. And then sure enough, if you've been doing this long enough, you're going to see your patterns and you're going to have that pattern recognition and take those setups that, hey, that you're like, oh, you think this is it. You think this is it. And if you're thinking that it's it and it's not like what Obi says, yeah, if this isn't like slapping you in the face, like, hey, I need to take it, then sure enough, there's nothing wrong with sitting on your hands in that setup, because that is telling me, Obi, you know what that tells me? If it's not hitting you in the face, telling you you must take this trade, it's not an A+ setup.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. You want to have some level of conviction, right? I think that's important. You want to have level of conviction that gives you that, and sometimes that level of conviction can come in with with seat time, right? You've seen something so often, you've seen it over and over again, you know what the setup kind of looks like there, and then you sit down and you're just like, okay, that's yelling at me right there. That level of conviction, yeah, a lot of the times that can be a pretty decent trade as well. I really like the ones that kind of yell out at you and kind of say, hey, you know what, this is what's happening. It doesn't make sense. In that moment, it doesn't make sense for you not to be in there, right? You have that level of confidence. And I definitely agree with you on that there, Joe, as some of the best opportunities come and smack you right in the face. And that's what you have to learn to recognize. And when that shows up, you just got to swing. You just got to swing as best as you can, right? So, yeah, great advice there. So let's see, what time is it right now? It's 11:25, and the market continues to take a little bit of a beating here to the downside. Oh my God! So Nvidia with some fresh lows. We talked about that 190, man. Great short. I see you're holding on to it still. So absolutely beautiful stuff there by Joe as the market pulls right back in. So that 25,000, man, that came in real nice, real hot, and we're continuing to catch a little bit of a push below that here. Now the ES finally catching up there as well and breaking that consolidation low going into the end of the end of the hours, the end of the 30-minute candle is what I'm saying. I'm looking at all these candle closes here, and I'm just like, all right, you know what? Let's see how some of this pans out. Apple's still holding that 272 right now, so I'm watching that as well. Let me know in the chat, guys. What are you guys trading? I'm curious to know. Are you guys waiting for the bounce, like I said before? Are you guys in those shorts looking for reasons to cover as of right now? There's that 190 back through on Nvidia as we pull right back in. So yeah, pretty good stuff here. On the day today, earnings day one on Nvidia, and the market catching a little bit of a shake and bake, man. So some good stuff here for sure. I don't know what you guys are watching, but Mag 7s, when you have a big earnings name like Nvidia on watch, I'm definitely saying that the market is very, very, very much in play on a day like today, and I'm looking at those beta moves. That's why I was looking at Apple. That's why I was looking at Nvidia. That's why I was looking at Google, because we're looking for that beta correlation and kind of come into fruition here in these markets. So yeah, that's what I have on watch. What do you got going on? What's your plan with that Nvidia here?
Well, right now I have essentially nothing left in the position, so I'm waiting for a potential pullback here, Obi. And then maybe we can add a little more shares for a continuation to the downside. I mean, we're pretty close to filling that gap if we haven't almost to a T. So that's my game plan. It's just we're just big chilling right now, man. So shout out to that. But in all seriousness, you can see the waterfall type price action. What we will talk about is something that I was just working on last night. And aside from my algo, once we get a little bit of a recovery in Bitcoin, that thing's going to be ready to rock and roll in the old Percy account there. So other than that, I'm tied up in IBIT right now. I don't want to put on anything else. But hold on, let me get this off of here so we can see big chillin'. Big chillin' is right, Ramin. If that is Ramin or Fabian, whoever it may be. I've seen some of the message you sent me yesterday as well, too. Thank you for that, Ramin. But no, in all seriousness, guys, this is what I was working on yesterday, all right? And I'm glad that it saved this. So right now you may just look at it as, Joe, what are these lines that you particularly have on your chart? Well, what they are is peaks before an aggressive sell-off. And then just what happens after the aggressive sell-off, all right? So we have peak one. Well, we didn't really document that because there's no previous high. But what I'm going to essentially show you guys here is like, okay, so we have this sell-off here that's going to be the most aggressive one. And sorry, I'm going to take a couple steps back. It's Fabian. Oh, no, it's Ramin. So essentially, we're going to take a couple steps back. And we think that we were on a bull run, but 2007 to 2015 or something was an insane bull run in the Nasdaq. Crazy stuff. Super chat, yeah, we'll get to that momentarily there. Assassino, as soon as we get through what I'm essentially gonna break down right here and what I was working on last night. So we have the peak, we have a pullback, and then we have another peak. But where does the pullback from this second high go to before it turns around? Our previous peak. Genius, right? Obviously very simplistic. All right, we go on this next run. Where is our next peak? Okay, it's up here at 408. Where does our pullback occur? To the previous peak, a couple percentage points above that, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. Okay, where's our next peak? Over here, where does the pullback go to? Our previous one. So essentially what I'm getting at, and if you guys catch the trend in which I'm trying to display to you guys, where is our next pullback going to be to, regardless of how high we're going to go? Of what we just established right now, I'm going to put my money, regardless if I'm right or wrong, is to this previous one. So if we continue to climb higher, essentially what I'm going to wait for is eventually to catch some prices at our previous all-time high. There you go. Exact Carter 530s. Exactly. So you get the pattern in which I'm establishing. So if you truly feel that you're missing out on a market, on some gains or in the market, well, what happens to people who wait? Good things come to people who wait and who are patient. So if you're patient enough for this next level to come into play, well, guess what? We're going to do another thing. So what year is this? 2021. I get it, you sell off for quite some time, but then you go on a 2-year run, almost a 3-year run, but in a span of a couple months, you get prices that were 4 years ago. Voila, we go on a monster run from those April lows. Well, guess what? You may be feeling FOMO, whether it be a year from now or 2 years from now. I'm going to put my bottom dollar on the fact that we go and test this previous high at 538. So I have no issues with sitting on my hands. And this is a weekly chart, by the way, for those who aren't informed. So if it's happened once, if it happens twice, and if it's happened 3 times, I'm going to put my money on it happening a 4th time. And that's what I was working on last night in the overall market, Obi.
Great stuff there. Yeah, no, I was kind of just like I said, trading that blue ocean last night.
Yeah,
that was absolutely crazy. You know what? We can go over kind of what happened there as Nvidia tries to catch a little bit of a base here in and around 190. Let me just pull up the Notion. Where is the Notion? From here, again, Notion is a great tool for kind of tracking your journals and keeping journals and keeping just a kind of a database. Wow, there's some bids getting pounded on Google there through that 300. Wow, so that follow through that 300 coming in real nice as of right now. On the day, so yeah, a bit of a miss on my part. Not really paying too much attention to that here. But I mean, go into my journals here. I revamped my whole journaling process.
Yeah.
And I was going through some of the stuff with Wayne as well. And it's distinctly different now. So I do have to. It's more organized. So I was just like Wayne. I was talking to him. I was like, hey man, like I have a lot of data. I have a lot of trades that I've taken. But in terms of organization, I've tagged them all. But when I go back to like analyze some of my historical trades, it's a lot of tedious work because even though they're tagged, they're not effectively organized in a way that that I think
you haven't
now
categorized them.
No, it's definitely categorized. It's just text, right? So I have to go into each one and be like, all right, this one is this category, this one is this category. But now Notion, if you use it effectively, which I'm learning to do now, is just like, okay, well, you can have a lot of those playbook trades, have them with tags, have them with certain kinds of, in trades and databases. So I can pull up, what are all the, for example, opening range breaks, right? All the opening range breaks that I've taken in the last month. What's the P&L on those? What's the success rate? How well did I do? Do I perform well on them? Do I perform poorly on them? I want to categorize stuff like that, and that's what I've been kind of moving over to this as well. So I can pull up what I did, and then I can show you what happened later on in the night as well. So let me pull up a couple of images here. So that's basically how. Let's see. That's basically how Blue Ocean closed last night. So this is what I traded last night. So this is my chart here. This was the open of the market. So a little bit of a chop. I'm a little bit of a chaser here. I see this 196 break right here, 196s. Let's see if I can zoom into this a little bit more so we can take a closer look at this. So this right here. So this 196 break, dude, I chased. 196s broke. I tried to cross 5 pennies. It was already at 10s. I tried to punch into 10s. It's sitting at 20s. Wow. I tried to punch into 20s. It's at 30s. I'm just like, okay, I don't care. I'm just going to cross bounce like crazy.
Yeah.
And it was really, really dumb in retrospect. I punch into 30s, max size, and it pulls right back in. I'm like, okay, I didn't want to give that 30 pennies. So I'm like, okay, size down, get in a little bit more, chop, 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 short, get chopped, long, get chopped. And then finally, the move comes in much, much later going into midnight where that opening range definitely breaks and you get that crazy extension to the upside. We'll be right back from Madeira, but I'm going to continue talking through this trade and what the price action was last night because it was absolutely beautiful.
Time to talk some crypto. I do think we have to address the elephant in the room, which is this weakness. I mean, the whole market dropping, but I think Bitcoin, given how it was coiling, starting to feel this pressure quite a lot. Now, if you, I guess, zoom in here, this has kind of been a bit of a technical breakdown, gnawing at that 88,500. We broke it right now. We're kind of around that low. But, Bitcoin's not the only thing that's weak here. It's worth noting we're also coming into some resistance going back to April 2025. So it's been a while since we've been at these levels for BTC. Ethereum, though, I saw earlier, it's actually just broken 2,900. Right now we're at 2,888. So weakness is not just in Bitcoin, it's in the whole crypto space, but it's also in the whole market. Now, why, you may ask? And I will tell you. We did have, and again, you're never 100% sure why things are moving, but it is interesting to note, around when we started getting this drop at 11 a.m., we had comments from Fed's Cook. Now, Fed's Cook said that she has some concerns here about a potential drop in the market, saying that drop would be sharp. Now, her reasons for this include concerns about high valuations, corporate bonds, housing, and leveraged loans. So again, high stock valuations, one of the reasons here that Fed's Cook is concerned about a potential market drop, and we actually do get a little bit of a drop in these valuations today as a result. I want to mention as well here with regards to the market, more geopolitical comments. We do have Volodymyr Zelensky, Prime Minister of Ukraine, saying that he has agreed to work on the U.S. to draft a plan to end the conflict with Russia. So some geopolitical bright spots potentially here for this market and hopefully for the world, guys. Back to you.
All right, good stuff. Yeah, let's break this down a little bit more, Obi. I want to get, because I see that you had a really nice trade there nearing the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get a little bit more into this.
Yeah.
There,
wow, this market continues to break down.
Yeah, big time.
Like I said, you guys are asking me where's my next trade? My next trade is going to be a potential reversion when these sellers are done. So I have eyes on. I'm being patient. I'm waiting on my hands. And yeah, it's very difficult to do. I see you guys in the chat. You guys are like, this is a trading show. Where are the trades? Guess what?
They're right here. They're right here. They're right here.
There's a reason why I don't know. It's just.
Show them right there.
When you trade at a firm, you have to be responsible with your risk. You got to take trades that you think are absolutely real and kind of dismiss everything else. But regardless, this was a shake and bake. Guess what happened here, Joe? So this is the Blue Ocean last night, right?
Yeah.
So
what the
comes in, I'm not looking. So I had the long here, I stop out, I walk away for a little bit, and lo and behold, right as I walk away, that's when 196 breaks with volume.
Yeah.
I look back 40 pennies later, I'm just like, okay, I don't care, I just want to get involved. And I was just like, all right, punch this. Again, max size for the push. It pulls back in. You know what happens right here, dude? 196.50s.
How hard
Spoofy man.
How hard
Spoofy man. So this guy shows up, 13,000 shares on the offer at 196.40. Guess what the bid does?
What?
Instant drop down to 90s. I'm like, I'm Spoofy man, you do not scare me.
Yeah,
I see that. I'm just like, I wish I had more buying power because I'm just maxing out right here. Because I'm like, that is so mispriced, I want it even more. And it comes back here, I'm just like, oh my God, I wish I had more bullets. Right here, I piece some out and then take some more through the 197. This one right here, another, if you guys had tape on this, the 197, there was size on 197s. Nothing that crazy. There wasn't the spoofy man with 13,000 shares there, but about 5 to 6,000 shares on the offer at 197s, and boom. As 197 comes in, it gets straight taken out, just gratatatad into that 197, just taking all the fills and then just blast off right there. They were not done buying. It was very, very obvious, and the squeeze was definitely on, so I took this leg here. But look at what happened a little bit later, right?
God.
So a little bit later, a secondary leg. Wow, this market continues to push. Nice, great trade there on the Nvidia short, man. So let me just find the other one here. Where is the picture? Okay, so this is the rest of the action from Blue Ocean from last night. So let's see, zoom out a little bit right here. So this was the leg. Oh no, this was the after hours. Sorry, wrong image. Let me just pull up the
let's
pull
get to
up
those
the
FTSE. Sorry,
chart
brother.
on a different platform here as of right now. But you want to take over for a little bit?
Yeah,
as I
absolutely.
bring
Well, you
this
do your
chart
thing,
up?
guys. I have to do this, man. We're gonna be short Bitcoin. I mean, there goes NVDA. That's $5, man. Where's Katina, man? He's at the gym. So that's not too bad. I could take my last out there. I mean, 188 was going to be my final target if we squeeze back up to that. I was expecting a little bit more of a deeper pullback than opposed to what we got here in 188.54 to a high of around 190.28. And then it's just like, all right, we're going to take that additional leg lower. So I'm going small here on IBIT. I'm going to probably take this last bit out at the retest of 188 here on NVDA. But there it is, guys. A floor break, a neckline break is essentially what we were looking at. But I know we got some super chats. Come back to my seat and all shorts out. Wow, yeah, I know, man. It's a short kind of day there, my brother Neil. What's that? Oh yeah. I mean, hey man, that's the thing. Anything can happen. You know what's funny? Every time I'm watching UFC, the minute I take my eyes off the screen for like 30 seconds, someone gets KO'd, and I'm like, how? Things happen so quick. All right. Ashar Malik, $1.99. How do you apply a stop loss? Okay, that's a great question. We can go over that. So you're going, I don't know what broker you're with or anything along those lines, but it's essentially an order. So what you want to do here is you're going to have your trigger price in which the order will be sent. All right, so it's going to be a stop limit. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to have a trigger price and then the price that it's actually going to execute at. And then what you want to do is, so say you want to have your hard stop at $188. You want it to trigger if the price comes down to 188.50. That's going to be your trigger price. And then you hit enter for the X amount of shares in which you want to get stopped at. So there is how to apply a stop loss. Obviously, when you're applying it and where is extremely important as well too. So you don't want to go right at key support levels. So if you're looking to take, say, a long over here and you think that the NVDA is going to bounce, you don't want to put your stop loss right at the base. You want to give it a little bit more room, right? Just in case you get those additional fake outs, which tend to typically happen, especially with higher float names. Now, as for Papacito, 1790 shekels. Thank you very much for that one, my friend. Hey, does everyone also have that feeling that Nvidia earnings won't help? All stocks move 1-to-1. Looks like there's a huge justification needed for upside. I don't know if there's a justification, but at the end of the day, we know that we've been on a big time run since April. It's just like almost every dip was being bought, and it happened on multiple occasions. The market's just pricing some things out here at this point. We've been on a big run, and it's profit taking, I think, at this point. The street, I believe, is still worried about capital expenditures and everything along those lines. So I think it's important to say, like, unfortunately, the market doesn't always go up, and you will see some heftier corrections. And that's what we were talking about in the likes of Microsoft. And for all the, again, if you've been doing this for like an intermediate term or a longer duration, we talked about it in the likes of Microsoft when everything was just going parabolic. And it's like, okay, I understand. I've only been doing this for 5 years, but if you've been paying attention to the price action, those types of moves aren't sustainable. And it's funny to see every time in the Nasdaq or in the SPY, we continuously took another leg higher and higher and higher without no significant pullback. I'm like, So unfortunately, you get the latter half of that is like when things really go bad, they go bad because we were so excited for such a long duration of time that sure enough, you're going to see the equal and opposite reaction on the other side of things. And that's what we've been experiencing over the past couple of weeks here. And now, I mean, if we want to get down to the nitty gritty, we're short IBIT. That's starting to work for us. We're at 186.89 here on NVDA. So that gap is starting to get filled fully there. So that's not too bad. Shorts most definitely in play. This is the TQs. You have to take into consideration, we're down 6%, not even. But when I started to get really alarmed without any significant pullback, it's everything north of here, all right? So if that 582, I'm like, okay, that's good. Let's see if we can get a pullback and a retest of that. No, dip bought up. You take that additional leg higher. Oh, no, dip bought right back up. And you put this extra extension, and I'm like, this is just overdone right now. People are too excited. A bunch of individuals are going to get caught up here, stuck all these longs. And sure enough, when you're buying at these all-time highs, market's going to fake you out. Now, with my suspicions, I wouldn't be surprised if over time in the Nasdaq, we break 590. Can I be wrong? Absolutely. Do I hope I'm wrong? Absolutely. But I think it's just the nature of the beast. And it goes back to the example in which I was telling you guys I was working on last night. So we go from a weekly standpoint, is that eventually you will always revert to some of these previous pivot highs. And I think that's something to note. Am I going to say that's going to be the occasion right now? I don't think so. I think we get an additional pullback, maybe 10, 15%, and go on additional leg higher because the capital expenditures are there. The AI trade, I think, is still fully in play, even though right now it seems a little frothy. That's fine. But eventually we will. Maybe not anytime soon, though, it will be.
No, I think I definitely like it.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned some great points there, and if people start positioning into these into some of the tech sector, we have only up to go. And I think a big part of that was a few months ago, we were reading reports about how a lot of institutions and funds are sitting cash heavy with the market pushing all-time highs as well.
Exactly.
So I was just like, all right, well, so these guys, if they start to buy up again at any given time, then the upside potential is definitely there. Sure, are we going to take a little bit of a breather there on the way? I think, of course, yeah. I love reversions, and I think reversions are a healthy part of markets and healthy part of good price action there as well. So something to keep in mind, right? So when we are getting these aggressive pullbacks, I'm looking potentially for places on the higher time frames like those 100 moving averages, those 200s, those 50s as well on the dailies and weeklies to really see if those institutions are stepping up and getting involved at those prices. As if you look back historically on some of these market leaders, you can see that they hold these moving averages pretty well for good reason. And I think another moving average that I like to use as well is anchored VWAP that's pinned to some key events as well. Ones that are pinned to the first earnings of the year or the last earnings of the year as well. I really like. This market continues to sell off, man. So going back to that Nvidia chart from Blue Ocean last night. So this is what I was talking about. What I showed you earlier was only this initial leg, and this happens here at 11 o'clock at night. Going into midnight is where this kind of push happens there. I went to bed around midnight. I was just like, all right, don't really want to participate anymore. And then you get this second leg up with volume coming in at 1:30 and a beautiful reversion of the move there coming into the closing of the session at around 4 a.m. right there. So we hit a high of 198.50s in the closing session. We didn't quite get there today on the open session. 195s still a little bit interesting. So 195s held pretty well off of the Blue Ocean session. 196s was great. 197s was absolutely telling. And a lot of volume kind of done at that 197. We're pulling back pretty aggressively as of right now. And again, the SPY gapped up. A lot of things kind of gapped up, and maybe some profit taking there as we are pushing some fresh highs. Google all-time highs, right?
Yeah,
Today was another push of Google all-time highs. It's been stupid strong.
It's going off of the market, man.
Oh,
For sure. All right, there goes IBIT, guys, continuing to bleed a little bit here. So maybe we'll take some off. I don't got very much size on this one whatsoever, but there it is, 20
cents. You think we're coming into 70?
In Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Oh man,
where's the next significant support
like
that you
80 something,
80
I think
something,
roughly.
Right?
Yeah. It's not looking pretty whatsoever. It's not good. But hey, man. It's the nature of the beast with this coin here. I always thought, like, just due to the length of the consolidation here, what we'll do is we'll pull up an actual, a separate chart here so we can get the full, a little bit bigger of a picture. Now, what I found really fishy, and I think a lot of traders can agree with this, I'm curious how Neil and Sean would obviously think, because just due to their experience, and Sharif, obviously, everything along those lines, is that what I was thinking is, okay, the longer the consolidation, and I guess it's how it's worked in practice, is the longer the consolidation, the bigger the breakout. Well, what I was thinking here in March of 24, when we really started to form this 8-month consolidation, is that this move was going to be sustained with, I guess, pullbacks that weren't as deep and consolidations that weren't as long. So this is 8 months of consolidating. You're trading within this specific 20K range, which it seems quite a bit. But if you look at the bigger picture, you're trading within this range where you're forming these lower highs. Yeah, we have this nice breakout, but look what happens immediately after we're done. You go into another multi-month consolidation. Well, guess what? There's not enough demand north of here in the $100,000 level. You pull back to the breakout zone. And this is kind of the example in which we were referring to the Qs. So if you're going to look at what the next potential level could be, 73, 75 can most definitely be in the works without any question, because now you've broken this trend, and that's not good whatsoever. So you have this strong uptrend, you're starting to pull back aggressively, and are people starting to hit the panic button? I sold a bunch at 93. I reduced my exposure. So anything south of 85 or anything along those lines, I'm more than happy to start grabbing a little bit more at a time, leading into this 74 level, looking for that bounce. But now, it's like if you're, and what I was reading last night is that a lot of short-term traders, whether if you're playing the options route, you don't have much time on your side, because what we've noticed from a pattern in history is that we consolidate for multiple months on occasion. And I'm one of those individuals sitting in a bunch of contracts that expire May 16th. So every day I'm just losing a little bit of money to theta decay. But what I can do is sell some options premium and throw a prayer up saying, hey, let's get this back to 100,000 at some point, because the amount of premium that I've been collecting so far, if we go back to that 100,000, I'll be able to walk away essentially scratch free. But that doesn't seem to be the case right now, and I think that's something that we need to be cautious about, considering this thing has been absolutely getting destroyed, and the waterfall price action has been horrible. And then you have these leverage products like MSTR, Strategy, now 178 bucks. Think about the individuals who are buying this at $500.
Oh yeah.
You're down 66% from that point.
They definitely. I mean, the dream was sold heavy on
Yeah,
that.
big
on that
time,
name,
man,
for sure,
big
right?
time.
And it's just
It
like
too
MSTR
heavy,
is
I
not necessarily the same as holding Bitcoin.
It is not the same.
It's not the same as holding Bitcoin, and I think that people are just like, maybe they don't want to get involved in crypto markets because the whole process of getting the wallet and kind of setting things up. If you're already involved in financial markets like the stock market, maybe you're looking for vehicles that kind of reflect. And I know a lot of people kind of taking that bet using Coinbase, using crypto-related stocks like a Circle or something like that, right? But you got to remember that at the end of the day, it's not the same. These are businesses that are using the stock market. Don't forget, the stock market is a tool for companies to raise money and raise funds. So they're gonna use that to their advantage, and you got to be careful and really learn and know what you're putting your money into as well. But the beautiful thing about day trading is, like, I don't necessarily need to know what I'm putting my money into, because I'm not really staying in there for too long. But when it comes to investing in long-term trading, you definitely have to do your research. You have to know what you're getting yourself into before you kind of dive in. Because you want to know what you have, right? You want to know what you have. You want to have some level of clarity of what you actually hold, right?
Let me say this, Cook, not all market volatility is problematic. Adira, I agree. And again, and that's what I'm saying. I agree. Not everything is problematic. It's the nature of the beast. And that's something that comes with experience. And the more you go through something, the more comfortable you'll be with it. It sucks. Don't get it twisted. We all feel it. Like, there's so many people feeling the exact same type of pain, but you learn to deal with it after going through it X amount of times. Now, I was going to make a point here. So this is what I was saying. This is going to be a complete hot take. A lot of people aren't going to like it, and that's fine. Unfortunately, I can't please everybody. But what I would love to see here, Obi, and obviously it was horrible, but something that is going to lead the market to a pandemic-type price action, which is a lot of fun, right? Everything's worried, everybody's worried, but something like if you look at the market when everybody was stuck at home, if you just set and forget, you're creating generational wealth. And I know a lot of people aren't going to like what I have to say because I was stuck at home, and unfortunately a lot of people lost people due to COVID, and that I'm sorry for. But from a market standpoint, I mean, the AI trade is something along those lines, and I like that aspect, but I would like to see something, and I think that the AI trade can be that where we have everybody just, the exuberance and everybody excited to get involved off of these 10, 15, 20% pullbacks, and sure enough, you set and forget, and you can have a pretty good time, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think I showed you some of the swing trades that I was involved in, kind of just holding them for many, many years, and then they come into fruition, right? It's just like I liked it back then. It was a good reason, I think, for getting into some of the trades that I did. And yeah, set it and forget it is the mindset that I definitely like to use as well. And we talked about why, and mentioned. I think I had one of the holdings that did really, really well this year for me was Bombardier. And now Bombardier, I've been holding. I've been holding for years. Well, I bought it just a little bit after COVID. I think I bought it at the end of 21 there. But yeah, take a look at this. I had to sit on this for the longest time before it finally started to work. So I did try an attempt at a bit of a pop there on Nvidia, and it's accelerating to the downside right there. So a good thing I got out of that one there. Don't necessarily need to spend longer than I need to on that name there as of right now. So let's take a quick look and see what we have in store. 185s potentially coming in here on Nvidia. So no bid, only continuations here across the board as the SPY and the Nasdaq continue to flush. It's the middle of the week, man. It's the middle of the week, and
it's Thursday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was a lot.
Well, yeah, later half of the week. Wednesday, Thursday.
I had to make sure what day it was.
No, it's not Wednesday, but almost to the end of the week. It's Thursday today. Sometimes I just, it's all a blur. Wednesday, Thursday, I don't even know. Fridays and Mondays probably stand out the most to me because they kind of signal the beginning and the end of the week. But this market might be signaling the beginning of the end of the bid as of right now on the day.
Oh, so
Nvidia took out its reference lows from the earnings reaction. So you can see right here, earnings reaction low on Nvidia was 186s. We are trading right there at that 186 mark on Nvidia. So taking out the full move, giving it all up, 100% reversion. Absolutely beautiful here. And Apple about to take out the day lows. Oh my God, I did not hold this short very effectively. I was short here, 75s, taking into VWAP. Have to take this later, this continuation later on as well. Did not get involved on this breakdown. 273s, a lot of different places maybe to get in. 74 halves, VWAP consolidation lows, breakdown of this consolidation, breakdown of this pullback here as well. And then now breakdown of the opening range low that confluences with pre-market low highs as well. And another one, prior day highs, 272.23. So that was a little bit of a chop and churn there. And that's coming in hot and heavy. Straight into the ground is this market. Google giving up that 300. Wow, we talk about that 300 breakdown. That's coming in aggressively. 295s on the bid here on Google. Where will it stop? When will it stop? I have no idea, but guess what?
Can I say something here?
I'm going to say something.
All right, say it.
I'm not an analyst.
Yeah.
But I have a little bit of an inkling of what might be going on.
What's that?
I think there are more sellers than buyers.
We don't even,
Occam's razor. You don't have to complicate it. Don't complicate it. Why are you getting so complicated?
Hit the more you know.
More sellers than buyers.
Hit the more you know.
Come on.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the button. I was just going to say, why you got to make things so complicated?
There you go.
Oh.
You don't have to.
That's Nelly, right? That's Nelly Furtado?
No, it's Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne. All right, sorry. Hey, don't chew me up now. Don't chew me up now. All right.
Come on now. How did you not know that? Even I knew.
Well, come on, man. Listen.
Linda, listen.
Linda, listen. So get out of here, Joe. Yeah, I know, man. I hate it. But all of that is irrelevant when you are cooking up on IBIT, and then we got that NVDA, which is, what is that, over $7 on there. Where's Katina, man, when you need him? But there it is. No, I didn't say Ari Kelly. I said, I thought it was Nelly Furtado for a second, but that's a bad call out. Anyways, aside from what we got going on, it is lunchtime. I'm going to take my last little bit out here, guys, on NVDA as we're continuously bleeding here. So that was a big time trade to the downside. Boom, there it is. We're all out of NVDA. A pretty good start to this Thursday, that's for sure. Let's see if we get this continuous bleeding in Bitcoin. I'm going to later on in the session. Sorry, guys. I don't know. I don't look at this screen, so I don't know which camera we're at here. So I'll make sure I focus when I talk to you guys. There it goes. Another leg to the downside in NVDA. We're all out of that one. These pullbacks are micro, and it seems to be that the momentum is definitely down there. Let him cook. Yeah, we're all out of that one there now, brother. Just sitting in that IBIT. Really nice trade to the downside here. Neckline break, 193 short, all the way down into that 185 level, which is a thing of absolute beauty, 185.71, and it's taking an additional leg lower, guys, so be cautious. It is waterfall type price action. I don't know about standing in front of this stuff right now. I'm just going to be looking to go with the flow, but now do you want to be selling at the lows? It's a tough play, so if you're sitting in that situation, I think it's best you just sit on your hands for a little while. Dude, Obi is down. Yeah, but aside from, I was going to say something, but I totally forgot what I was about to. But anyways, there it is, NVDA to the downside. IBIT working out relatively well for us as well. Putting in a new low. All right, bang. Let's take a little bit more out there, Obi. I don't have, okay.
I don't have that. People are saying I have that position still. I don't have that position.
Oh, you don't have the 180?
I don't have, I think we have to refresh that, refresh the blotter, because you can see right here, I got out of that position.
Double check on your thing. Did you double check on your thing?
No, it's already filled. Like, I don't have to refresh my blotter. I'm pretty sure. Like,
as long as you know.
As long as you know. As long as you know. Yeah, I hope I'm not in that, but I'm pretty sure. Like I took a hit on that. I checked my blotter right after. I did take a hit on that, so that is a real order. So what you're seeing, that 188.01, like look right here. You can see the arrow right there. So the position board is incorrect right now because I did get out of that. There's that arrow right there, getting out as we broke back below 187 halves. I still do not have that long because there was no reason to stay long. So yeah, save man, woman, peace. So yeah, I think I just have to punch into another thing right now, and it'll refresh and correct the board there as of right now. But yeah, we'll see. I'm watching Nvidia. Don't worry, I might get back.
I think we're gonna get a bounce here in Bitcoin. Regardless of how deep it is. Here it is, right? Like, so a nice hammer candle right off of these lows. It can be extremely shallow, right? But that's closing as a complete print. And then sure enough, you're starting to climb a little bit higher. If it comes back to my break even, I'll get out and then I'll look to reassess the situation. Are you back in it now?
Yeah, I took a little bit there, but we'll see. I'm willing to lose on this, right? I'm willing to lose on this. I'm willing to lose on this. I want to ideally pyramid into this if it starts to work for me. If not, then I won't be in the most size. If it does start to work, then I probably will try to get into as much as possible, as long as it continues to work for me. What's going on there?
Only 6.5%.
Hi guys, it's been quite a morning. So let's talk about it here on Happening Now. I really don't know how else to transition into talking about what happened to the market today, because we had a nice, strong, gap up, nice uptrend through the pre-market, or post-market and pre-market, and initially some strength. Then we start falling right around 11 a.m. Technically 10:45, but I think the selling accelerates at 11. Now, as Obi mentioned here, you never really want to speculate too much on why the market's moving down, because from a trading perspective, it's just an issue of more sellers than buyers. However, there were some comments from the Fed that could be attributed to this drop. Now, before we get into that, I do want to mention, not everything is super weak here. This selling that we see in tech, we're not necessarily seeing in a lot of these NY-listed names. Now, Walmart, to be fair, will become Nasdaq listed as of December 9th, but as of right now, still trading on the NYSE and nicely up here in earnings. Some other names here, too, that are on the NY that aren't especially weak today. UNH, actually green. So it's not all weakness, though it can easily look that way if you're trading a lot of these Mag 7 names and the Nasdaq. But let's talk about potentially why this market has been a little bit weaker. We had comments here from Fed's Cook. Now, Fed's Cook also has U.S. President Donald Trump has been interested in letting her go for mortgage-related reasons, so she's always going to be a little bit of extra interest with that in mind. Either way, though, Fed's Cook saying today around 11 a.m. that there could be a sharp decline in the market, that she does think that could be the case. She also mentioned here, though, that not all market volatility is necessarily problematic, but her reasons for thinking the market could drop are, she said, high valuations when it comes to stocks. She also mentioned here leveraged loans increasing, and so she thinks because of that, there could be a risk of some sharp declines within the market. That happened around 11 a.m., which is when the selling accelerated. But we have to talk here about acceleration with regards to Nvidia and their earnings. I've got a whole thread going here, so there's going to be a lot of Nvidia earnings content on X at TTV Research throughout the day. It's kind of been a rollout of this release. So here's one that I just posted here in X at TTV Research. As you can see, NVIDIA's quarterly revenue this quarter was awesome, up quarter over quarter. It actually reaccelerated this year-over-year growth as well. And yeah, I mean, strong quarter for NVDA, Jensen Huang, CEO, with a lot to be proud of. And we know US President Donald Trump praised him several times, both in person and on Truth Social yesterday. Before we send you over to what's happening next, we're going to take a moment to thank our friends at Origenics, because guys, each year, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the US. There's still no FDA-approved treatment. NYSE listed Origenics is changing that with its first-in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion by 2027, Origenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more and schedule a meeting today. And guys, if you want to learn more, you're in a great place, because it's Neil, and he's got a lesson, so he's going to give it right now. Neil, tell the people what's up.
Your lesson of the day is, if this happens, try not to be long if you can. No, seriously. So, like, no matter, I don't care what direction you came in with today. You know, there were some long opportunities early. Here, I'll fix. I think point it that way. There were some long opportunities early. I'm not going to argue that that was the case. But even if you had some sort of a bias, trying to fix this around my mic, some sort of a bias where you were looking for shorts, it'd have been difficult to. Nobody's expecting this. You can't. There's almost no way that you could have seen this coming unless you're like the most bearish person that has ever lived in the world, like this type of a reversal. But the way I look at it is, if this happens to you, never get back in on IBIT, on trend. Like, I'll show you examples of where, you know, obviously this one could have been a heck of a lot better. It falls all over itself. See when this is happening? Just short something. Now, it might be something that I was already shorting. So this is about, see where the volume comes in at about 11 o'clock after we left you guys in the morning show. Just short something. So there was something that was at a price that I liked. I like VWAP on Open Door. Do I like Open Door short today? Yes. Is market falling over itself? Yes. Am I short it right now? No. Is there a setup that's remotely there? Yes. It's at VWAP, short it. Then short all available pops. So that's how quickly I went through that process. When I sat back down on my desk, by the way, I actually gotten up, so I didn't even realize that some of it was happening. And I was like, what can I even get into? Because I clearly missed that IBIT trade. Then I went over and said, okay, well, is there something happening that's adjacent to the thing I wanted to short, which was Bitcoin? And is there something there? Answer, okay, well, look at Mara, look at Coinbase, look at just every single name. Is there a setup? Underneath the morning low, so there's support to resistance, consolidation, it bounced. I'm like, give me any kind of a pop. Can I short it? Is it something that's in the target as everything's falling apart? Forget about any reversion long setups there. We're falling apart. I have a short to the low. Get into the trade. It's that simple. And I know it doesn't always sound that simple, but notice the thing that makes it work for myself was I knew where I wanted to go. And there's like all morning long when I go through, I get my iPad out and I have my preparation, a little bit less because we were in earlier doing some other stuff this morning, but a little bit less time to prepare. But I go into my iPad, I've got all the names that I'm usually looking at. And not every single name has numbers next to it, but I will plug that in later. But the ones that do are things that are on my current watch list. Those are the names that I am interested in, and they're in play for me. And if I have something in there, whatever direction, then I know I have an idea about what I want to do around a certain price or a certain direction. Like, I have a plan of action. So when the market falls all over itself, and so IBIT might be number one, I'll have a number two idea, right? Like, I know I'm pivoting tomorrow in that particular case. I know I'm pivoting. I know when we're breaking down, I'm like, I know I'm pivoting to Open Door if I'm not short that. Maybe I should be short Intel as well. I'll make the argument that Intel, if I had stuck to my whole, Neil, every time Intel is a short, you should short it, then this would be on the list. So the only fail would be not being short Intel, I would think, through VWAP, but that is what it is. But you do want to know where you're going to, because that way, when things are going absolutely crazy, which is exactly what has happened here, you know with not 100% certainty, but you know that I can join the direction on something that was already a part of a plan for that direction, something that I'm comfortable trading, something that I know should be following the lead, something that has some setups that I was already interested in that direction, so that when I have a split second to make this decision, the market's falling all over itself. I have maybe not that much time, maybe a minute or two to decide, am I shorting something right here, right now? But I know once this is here, this is open door, that I was already shorting VWAP. Hit. Doesn't matter. That's easy because I've already done the preparation for it. And it's the same thing with Mara. What's my backup if I miss a Bitcoin short? It's Mara. Okay, where's Mara? Easy hit. It's got me a support and resistance level I can flip to. Think about the things you always hear me say. Almost all of my trade entries revolve around support to resistance, like a prior support level turns into resistance or vice versa. Dipping back into prior support, popping into a level like that. Or working off the volume weighted average price with a trend break. Those types of things are the execution strategy. So if you know all that going in, I can flip to a chart and then know exactly what I'm doing in the split second, and it's just robotic. I could flip to something random, like I have no idea whether this will hopefully end up true. Okay, I was hoping I would flip to something random and something wouldn't obviously set up. It turns out at 11 o'clock you could have shorted Apple at VWAP. So had I flipped to Apple, what would I be seeing here? I'd be seeing a trend off the highs that's putting a lower high at VWAP. There's a join in there, and then you take that short. But the only reason you can come up with that really quickly is because you have a process for your trading. Like, think about that. Like, that's actually is a golden setup. Like, you're short in here at a 273.4 area with maybe 30 cents worth of risk, and look at the ensuing that falls. Now, am I going to be a bunch out in front of here? Sure. Am I going to be a bunch out in front of here? Sure. Am I going to be all out in front of here? Prior close? Yeah, that's how I roll. I mean, it's closing range top. But the idea is things are going to happen rapidly. And it's absolutely okay to completely sit it out and not just go ham chasing moves. But if you have done your research and your homework and you have actual execution and trading strategies that are applicable to trends and any good technical analysis, then you should be able to find ways to participate in moves like this that don't violate your rules. And it does require a little bit of speed, but if you've got a short list of names that you're watching, I look up, I got Open Door that's already up there, I got iBit, which we already talked, that's already up there, and of course, you know, anything that I've traded today is going to be on that, usually going to be on those lists. So I don't have to go too far where I'm looking, but it's those types of moments where you're not going to get too much of a shot, right? Like it just so happened I was trading Open Door, so this was already up. But if I don't have it up, this is 675. Like, you're already missing out on a good portion of the move. Now, you can join it after we've broken the low and all that stuff, and then kind of short it as it's showing you like this low and then prior resistance and continue to join. But it's about knowing where you want to go and then executing really quickly, which requires a plan, everybody. So I hope that lesson of the day helps. The other thing is, if you try longs, that's fine. But just make sure you're trying a long and not just buying it, holding, and hoping. Because if you do that, these are exactly the kind of days that get you rinsed, you know, and you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Like, if you just sort of, I'm going to take this bounce and this is the bottom and I'm right, if that's what usually works for you on a day like today, I don't know how you could ever make that work risk to reward unless you have a very clearly defined, I know I'm wrong, this is why I'm going to get out. So right now you hold on to your shorts as best you can. I just saw in the chat, Grun just said circles back to its IPO price. My goodness, it's a bloodbath. The IPO, oh my goodness, it is literally back at the IPO price. There's blood in the streets. But if you were quick on your feet and you knew what your plan of action was and you had some kind of a plan of action and a good trading strategy or a good execution strategy, you can quickly flip and get into some trades when the market is accelerating. But it does require work. Trust me when I tell you, I sit here in the morning doing stuff like that for an hour every single day, and the amount of times that it works to this point where I can just jump into something really, really quickly every once in a while. You know, I also do some market making on other stuff in Toronto stocks, and where I play for spreads, and I'll put orders out in the pre-market. I've told these guys before, like Obi knows this, I will put orders out in the pre-market at prices that seem random on stocks that are barely moving, starting at like sometimes 7 a.m. And the number of times that it works for me or matters is maybe once a month. But when it does, then I'm rewarded for putting in that work. That's what a day like today is about. So make sure you put in that work all the time, not just some of the time, because you want to be ready to pounce when something like this happens. Good luck, hold on to your shorts. I'm sure there'll be a bottom at some point today, but don't be married to the idea that you have to get it. Just be willing to participate in the short party if you can. Good luck, everybody. Market's still falling.
Markets are definitely falling. Thank you very much, Neil. For sure, yeah, I like that lesson. You got to be nimble. You got to have some stuff on watch, and you got to have a plan. Being like, all right, if this happens, then I'm going to be looking at some of these names. So great lesson of the day there, Neil. And yeah, this market continues to drop lower and drop it like it's hot for real as of right now. Straight red bars on the 15-minute on both of these markets. So yeah, can't stop, won't stop.
Oh,
I'm looking for the bid, man, and it is not that.
Honestly,
not
Obi,
there.
I think it's going to be one of those days where it's not. If it does, it's going to be a micro pullback.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it's just recognition. Well, think about it. It's already noon. Wall Street going to lunch soon, so everybody's panicking. So okay, when is that going to really step in, and are you going to get that move back towards the high of the day? Listen, look, there's that Bitcoin short. We're gonna break it down right now. Okay, so I'm all out of Bitcoin. 2 shorts. Okay, yeah, so there it is. I'm all out of Bitcoin. IBIT, a nice short from the downside. Just going with the flow right here. Floors being broke, neckline's being broke, taking it to the downside right there. And then here we have NVDA as well. That was our short. Now, let's take a look at things from a daily perspective. I understand there's a lot of blood in the streets right now, guys. But if you have the ability to do so, don't completely panic. It's okay to panic a little bit. Like everybody freak out a little bit, freak out, and then gain your composure, all right, at the end of it. Thank you for the super chat. We're going to go over it. Yeah,
Hold the line.
Yeah, hold the line, like at all costs, Obi.
Hold the line.
Just breathe, freak out, go do what you got to go do, punch something, throw something, if that's what in the world that you're currently sitting in. But come back, stay composed. Don't break your monitor, obviously, or the computer, because then it's just going to cost you more money at the end of the day. But this is where we're headed towards, guys, and this is what I'm talking about. Whether it be from an intraday standpoint or from a daily perspective, I do believe that we're going to punch through some of these support levels. So, I mean, the sky isn't falling just yet, guys. We're only about 6% off of the highs or so, 7% on the Qs, and then a little bit more maybe, I think, here on the SPY, if I can get this rocking and roll for us. But yeah, it's just one of those sessions. It's just a massive engulfing. There is no reason for us to gap up aside from the earnings, NVDA's earnings report. We already kind of knew what the overall sentiment was, but don't try to catch a falling knife just yet. Wait for some better prices. We were talking about certain things. Okay, it's only 4.5% on the SPY, which isn't bad, right? 10% trigger pain. No. It's not that time yet. I mean, once you start hitting 20, 30% is when you want to really start to be like, oh, dang, this isn't good whatsoever. But there goes NVDA 180. You're trying it again?
Yep.
Brother. All right, listen.
I know it's probably not going to work.
No. I would just go with the flow. I
Paying
think
for information sometimes.
Yeah,
sometimes you got to pay for some information.
It's tuition now at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's tuition for sure.
I mean, no. I think at this point, what you got to do, if you have substantial shares, man, you gotta start writing options against the position, especially if you have more confidence in it. Just create that passive income. That's the beauty of the nature of the beast of options, right? And just the flexibility of using contracts. And I think that's what a lot of Wall Street is like. When things really start to go bad and you're not positioned that well, there's ways that you can mitigate it. And I mean, when you're writing, it's nothing substantial, right? It's 20%, 25%. But what would you rather have, a 75% loss or a 50% loss, right? I'm going with the latter half. So a lot of things going to the downside, and I just don't know if it's going to be just yet. I think around 1 o'clock, 1:30, we want to keep our eyes on specific things. Other than that, guys, if you're not short already, sit on your hands, and if you're looking to continue with the price action, then you want to look for floors. There goes Google heading towards a key level right now. I haven't even really been talking about Tesla or anything along those lines either, but punching through support levels, 183.16 now on NVDA. There goes Google punching 294. Let's head over to the daily and look at this, right? Like, you're starting to fill this gap. Considering market's down 7% on the Nasdaq, You're down 5% on the SPY off of the highs. You're only down a couple of percentage points here on Google, and this thing I think is going to be one of the stronger ones. Adira was talking about signs of strength. Did you mention Walmart? I believe. Yeah. I mean, Walmart going oppo, so getting defensive right there and not getting destroyed whatsoever. So holding towards. But guys, guess what? Key neckline right here. Strong asset that isn't participating with this selling. Unless the momentum continues to the downside, then I don't know about playing this neckline break. But if it does, there might be a nice short there in WMT. What do we got? Oh, we got okay, yeah. What do you got for us there, Obi?
All right, so guys, now for some exciting news out of Canada for the sophisticated traders on the stream. Beta Pro by Global X Canada, Canada's largest provider of leveraged, inverse, and inverse leveraged ETFs, has just launched 6 new triple leveraged ETFs, offering 3 times bull and 3 times bear exposure to the S&P, TSX 60, semiconductors, and on U.S. Treasuries. Even better, they're offering a special fee rebate, dropping management fees to just 65 basis points until December 31st of 2025. Plus, the U.S.-focused strategies use a currency hedging, offering the potential for pure performance and exposure. If you are a tactical and sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, check out betapro.ca/3xdaily to learn some more. All right, so yeah, this market continues to sell off, man. I've tried a couple of times here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 times here I've tried. And people in the chat were just like, Obi, you're going 3 for 0. What are you doing there? And I was just like, I replied, I was like, hey, I was told that it's okay to lose 60 to 70% of the time, as long as you can put up some green, right? So it is what it is. And again, I'm willing to get a little chopped up just to kind of feel it out. Nothing too crazy. Not really, giving up my day on this. At least just yet. But yeah, looking for that bid. Nowhere near anywhere close of kind of showing any sort of signs there. We got through that 25,000. We're breaking down even lower, 24,400 now on the Nasdaq. So no real bid as of right now. We'll be right back from Madeira and take a look at some other stocks in the market.
Yeah, I'm seeing some more questions here in the chat as to why the market is dropping. So I will address this once again. Now, again, as Obi mentioned, there doesn't always have to be a reason for things to drop. It can just be, a matter of sellers overwhelming buyers. But around 11 a.m., we did have some comments from Fed's Cook, where she said that she could see the market declining sharply. So once again here, comments from Fed's Cook coinciding with this drop in the market. For those who missed it, I also want to do some housekeeping really quickly because, guys, at 1 p.m. Eastern, we are going to get a press conference from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. So that's going to be a press briefing. I, of course, will be covering it for you guys. That starts in 40 minutes. And back to you.
Yeah. Okay. So, guys, I see. Adira, to add to your point there, it's like people are asking why the markets do it, why the market's dumping. Listen, we can place the blame because Fed's Cook, Lisa Cook, decided to say something. It's not the case. It just happened to be the spark that or the fuel that was added more to the fire. The market will find something. It doesn't matter what it is, and if they can justify it, oh, okay, boom, this is the reason. Then sure enough, they'll sell. What happened with Kashkari? Same thing. It doesn't matter who it is at the end of the day. Someone will say something, and it'll be enough for the market to react to it, and that's what we're experiencing right now. Talk about getting out a little bit early there, 192s, and then sure enough, we dump all the way down to 182 in NVDA. I don't know, guys. We might see a potential bounce here. We might see a potential bounce, but if you are looking for that play, you're gonna have to give it time. Picking bottoms. Listen, it's tough, especially when you have this waterfall price action. I mean, at some point you have to be like, okay, you know what? We're not going to try this anymore. You take a couple attempts at it. There's Google. You're starting to see all these prints being formed. You can get that. But at some point, you just have to be like, hey, you have to be accepting of the fact that you're going to trade all the way up from 195 all the way down to 182 in NVDA. In Tesla, you go from 429 all the way to 400, just like that in a span of a couple of hours. And APLD, I mean, AMD was 232, now trading back down to 209 at the low of the day. And then you have Google, the only one that putting an all-time high is 306, now trading at 392. You know what I mean? So it's just like, And then so one thing to note as well too, guys, is that on the 5-minute, you can see that we have buyers pushing price back up, but it's immediately met by defense. So I don't know, man. I don't know. You got to be patient. I think sit and wait for things to cool down, because when you have this waterfall type price action, I think those V reversals are slightly less likely, but again, anything can happen at any given moment. Let the market form a base, and then sure enough, maybe you might be able to find a potential long back to VWAP. But look how price is hugging, right? Like, look at the volume weighted average price really tracking down with the overall market there, Obi.
Yeah, I'm just watching this potential bid here. This 15-minute candle started off pretty red there, but catching a little bit of a bottom wick here. And the flat top of this 15-minute on the Nasdaq gives me a little bit of an interesting look there. I'm just like, are we really going to print a? I forget what they're called. What's a technical name? Haramozu, I think. The Harabozu, I think. Type of candle where it's just like a straight solid candle. It just shows strong pressure, right?
Yeah. I can pull that up right now. We'll take a look
at there as well. But yeah, I'm just like, what's the likelihood of that happening, especially after a strong bottom wick like that? Do we get even a hint of a top wick?
Are you thinking of Heikin-Ashi?
No, not Heikin-Ashi.
Oh, okay.
I can just look it up here in a second there, but maybe potentially with a little bit of a bounce here on the Nasdaq and the ES, but I'm being patient. This is a falling knife, right? You just got to be patient, and like Neil said, you want to do your best to get involved with shorts when and if they do show up. But I'm not seeing too much relief as of right now. It's just straight line down, right? We've just been in a straight line down, back-to-back 15 candles. For about, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 15-minute candles in a row. So that's absolutely wild there. And you can see the length of the candles maybe starting to get a little bit of suppression as of right now, but who knows? Let's see where we go from there.
Cool. For too long, trading meant risking your own money or never having enough to start. The fear of losing, that's what kept so many traders on the sidelines. But that's changed. Trade the Pool is transforming how traders access the markets. With its limited risk trading model, traders use funded capital while Trade the Pool absorbs the downside. This allows traders to focus on what truly matters: discipline, consistency, and growth. When you hit the profit target, you keep 70% of the profits. No fear, no barriers, just real opportunity. This is the revolution of limited risk trading, powered by Trade the Pool. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now to get 10% off your first evaluation. What's up? So sorry, we continue. We're just going to finish that little read there.
No worries.
What's up, my guy? Took some nice wins today.
I was going to do something. I totally forgot. I was going to pull something up.
Oh, you were good. Everybody said it in the chat there, Obi. It was the Marabozo, Arbuzu candles. Some people are saying, bro. Oh, okay. I thought that was okay. Never mind. It's like bruh is right. It's absolutely right. Yeah, some people say you don't recover from a black Marabuzo or whatever it is. So I don't know. I'm not familiar with that. I know a lot of people were trading with Heikin-Ashi, which people like, dislike, whatever it may be, man. To each their own. You got to find your own edge. What's up, my guy? Took some nice wins today, waiting in to settle, looking back to get in. What's good? Nothing, brother. Just chilling. Had a little doc op this morning, just regards to the old noggin there. Other than that, can't really complain, man. Ryan O'Day, check this. Ryan, check this short out. Gore, have I seen what you said? Is this the Christmas rally? Yeah, it looks like it. That made me chuckle. There it is, guys. NVDA down. It's only down 1.5% on the day.
Yeah, it's already up, right?
It was up. So it did take a little bit of a hit. But there it is. Neckline break right there. Gorev, Ryan O'Day, a nice short from 192 all the way to the lows right there. And the same thing here in IBIT. So you can see the market is starting to form somewhat of a base now. That's a positive sign. You want to look for strong names. You're getting a little bit of a rebound in Google. I like that one for a potential bounce. Let's head over to the IBIT trade. So again, been here for an hour and a half or so. These two nice little trades. Nice base being formed. 49.20s as a potential low there. But look at the daily, man. Oh, full disclosure, my calls, so if I sell a couple of my calls, my average will come down drastically. But this is where my calls are lying, guys. right? I have a 65 strike, but I averaged in a little bit looking for that move. So I'm right here. That is not good. Do not do what I do and hold something 15 points against you without a game plan. I was talking to Neil about it the other day. I would have been taking a significant loss. But one thing that is allowing me to hold on to this position is call writing, is collecting premium, and duration. Those are the only two things. Otherwise, on 6 contracts, you take $15 to the downside. Do the math. That is not a good time whatsoever. Not good whatsoever. So yeah, that's what we got going on here. OB, AMD starting to find a little bit of a bottom. Be patient, let this cool down, let the market potentially find a base, and then you want to get in at the lower end of the base and look for that pullback. How deep is it going to be? Just be prepared to take profit relatively quick.
Yeah, I think I don't know how far this selling is going to go, but I'm kind of putting in feelers. Google looks like it's trying to catch a little bit of a base. I definitely agree with you there. Market maybe potentially putting in a little bit of a base. At least at the very least, it is slowing down a little bit. That's what I'm noticing. Now that could speed up right into the end as well. The end of the 15-minute candle, which is about 50 seconds away right now. So let's see how this 15-minute candle closes here on both the ES and the Nasdaq. I'm watching this Nvidia as well as we chop around just shy of that 184 level. But that Google might want some of that 300 again, so I'm watching that really closely. That was a bit of a level of interest. I'm curious to know whether or not we go grab some more or we deal with some liquidity in and around that level or not today. But yeah, sellers very, very much in charge and continue to be on the day today. But something that's been holding up really, really well, Joe, is Walmart.
Yeah,
Walmart had
I was
earnings
just looking
today.
at that.
Walmart had earnings today, and they've been holding up really well. So some of the staples might be doing a little bit better than some of the tech sector here as of right now. So because Nvidia day one earnings, maybe people are just like, all right, as anticipated, nothing too crazy. Is that a reason to sell? I don't know if people are seeing it that way, but it's just a speculation on what may be happening in the markets right now. But yeah, 183 half. So a lot of chop happening here. So yeah, definitely some slowing down of the price action. Let's see if we can catch a bit of a reversion here. It has been aggressively strong to the downside. I'm looking for something symmetrical. I don't know if it'll have me, but that's what we're going to be waiting for. What do you got for us, Joe?
All right, guys. If you missed it yesterday, we've just recently dropped a highly anticipated interview video. This is where we share the ultimate reason and inspiration behind why we started the Academy project. This video is a must-watch to understand the full journey of your host, including a sneak peek into the major challenges we faced early on. So don't forget to check it out. You've definitely learned something and get to know us better. And stay tuned because we're getting very close to launching Trader TV Academy.
All right,
Go check it out.
Yeah, I saw the preview of that video last night.
Oh yeah,
it was pretty solid. Great,
good video. Yeah,
there.
good video.
Some good insight on the journey for sure.
For sure. 181,000 buy order here on
you guys go and check
SPY. Yeah, so there you go, Obi. Hopefully you're getting a little bit of a bounce right now. If I'm gonna pick something, BT Campfire, I can't wait, says Jody. I know, me neither. It's gonna be good stuff, man. Probably a lot of good content coming out from you guys, and obviously Joey Verizon is actually ripping. What is RIFing? 15K today. Let's go, all things Trump. All right, let's take a look at VZ and see what we got on Verizon. Yeah, I mean, it's trading really well. Some nice prints on the low, on the 5-minute low, man. This thing is a beauty. That's a nice print right there, and then you're just off to the races on that one. Big dollars you're putting up. Jody, I hope you're having a good day as well. But other than that, guys, 2 trades. That's all we put on here today. IBIT, NVDA to the downside. So that's not too bad whatsoever. Man, I mean, we took the bulk of it out right here. Did I think that we were going to get all this profusive bleeding? Absolutely not. So, whoa, who did that?
What happened? What was that? Oh, Ramin's asking why is Nvidia bleeding? It's a sad day. Yeah, I guess. I mean, if you're a participant in the market, but here's the thing, Ramin, you got to think about it as like a discount, right? You got to think about it like a discount.
But see,
over the years, the market will definitely pull back, and you got to be like, all right, on those days where we're getting that discount, am I buying?
Yeah. I mean, in all reality, listen, I'm going to cut the crap here. In order to be getting something at a discount, you need to have money to buy it. And a lot of people are in scenarios where their money is tied up in stocks that are already bleeding. So are you willing to realize that loss in hopes and in anticipation of getting it at a lower price? That's something that you need to write down, and you need to have a conversation with yourself. Because listen, I've been in that boat before. Everybody's like, yeah, everything's at a discount. Well, that's great, but all my money has been gone because I've been sitting in the stocks slowly bleeding, not having the ability to buy the discount.
You gotta have more bullets. You gotta have a longer clip.
You need to extend the clip.
Make sure you got that extendo clip.
You need the extended clip, 100%.
Don't be. I mean, I'm not gonna say don't put all your eggs in one basket. I don't believe in that. But I'm saying that you gotta have more eggs to throw in the basket a little bit. There comes a time where you become saturated. You're just like, this is as much as I can go.
I don't have anything, right? And you're stuck. That's the reality of things, man. Again. A lot of people agreeing in the chat. Ray is always right. Other than that, man, but what if it? Exactly, that's the thing. That's a risk you're willing to take. You have to be willing to take that. If you sat through a 20 or 30% pullback, and then at the lows, in which I made a mistake before of selling Tesla and Google, but because I went cash, I had the ability to rotate into some names. So ask yourself, are you willing to take a substantial loss in anticipation of getting back in some other names, but at maybe a fraction of the capital in which you had before? I think it's a really good question you have to ask yourself. And there goes NVDA heading back towards the low of the day there, OB.
Yeah, man, I just getting a little chopped up on here, but that 184 is not really holding as of right now. We looked like we could have bounced there a little bit, but sellers stepping right back in, so I'm just like, all right, cool. Alphabet, that was the one I was kind of using as a bit of an indicator, maybe potentially, but that's coming right back into its lows as well right here. So yeah, Google and Nvidia, very extended to the downside. I'm just looking at, in terms of extension, overextension, as of right now, Nvidia is the most extended of the Mag 7. And I think that's being closely followed by Google, and then Tesla, and then, actually no, Amazon's up there as well. Amazon's right after Google. So yeah, Amazon very overextended to the downside as well. I'm just using just the measurements like ATR to kind of give me a sense of that overextension for sure. So as of right now, Nvidia poised for some fresh lows as well. 182 halves coming in right there. So that's going to come in and test the lows there. 182.35s is the day low here, and the Nasdaq is about to print some fresh lows. There goes the ES as well, and there are those 30s here, 182.30s on Nvidia. Can we break down to the dollar? What do we do with that quarter? That's what I'm asking right now. But a lot of chop, a lot of this profit taking or selling happening on the day today. Just a couple of days ago, man, it was very interesting. I think just yesterday, yesterday off of the open, Nvidia, very interesting, and it gave us a beautiful reversion as well, along with the rest of the market. And we're seeing more of that selling coming in today. Some of the other stocks, not really, I guess. What's the reason for the gap up? That's the question, right? That's what I was just like.
NVDA earnings.
NVDA earnings, but that just has to do with Nvidia, right? What about the other stocks that just gapped up because of the market? They're kind of mispriced.
Absolutely.
Right. It seems like people are definitely getting involved in a little bit of a potential mispricing right now. But I'm looking for the next mispricing, which could potentially be this market being a little oversold on the day. But it seems like there's no sense of there's no sort of buying right now. Just straight selling. Just like nonsensical. I'm just like, all right, cool. You know what? I don't have to make any sense to it. I just have to sit there and listen. But did you listen? Mm-hmm. Market's selling. That's all it is.
Zcash. Everybody's saying Zcash is still rocking and rolling.
Zcash is a long-term hold. Yeah, I heard some things about that. Yeah.
Dang. Zcash. Yeah, that thing's been 1,000-point drop. Yeah. Google, Tesla short. A lot of people are short. Can we please talk about Webull and earnings call for today? Absolutely. Let's take a look at Webull. I was looking at this name last night. We'll go over the expected move as well, too, on Webull. Let's pull up Bull and see what we got going on. This is participating with the OB. Fear index at 7. Is this a buying opportunity? Thank you for that $2 super chat. Well, I mean, if you think so, or do you believe that there's more momentum to the downside, then sit on your hands. But if you think this is a good chance that the market is going to bounce, ask yourself those questions, then yeah, it's a buying opportunity. Do I think so? I'm going to be a little bit more patient. Sitting on some cash right now, I think there's some key support levels to be broken. And then once we break those, then I'm going to start buying a little bit more stuff. So that's how I feel. Again, you got to manage your own accounts at the end of the day. Bull, yeah, let's head over to this. Let's get over some of the expected moves as well, too, and see what we got going on from an earnings report. Guys, make sure, also don't forget, put those dollar signs in and get those votes. I'm going to vote right now, and I typically vote this every single time. Let's see if this one finally hits the board. I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case, considering that Tesla already has substantial amounts of subs. Did you vote today, Obi?
Did I vote? I'm going to go vote right now.
Okay, vote right now, please. So because we got to get those in. ARM, Hood, let's see what we got going on here. So let's head over. This is not what I wanted to pull up, but what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of the earnings reports for this evening, and then we're going to go over their expected moves. Because that's fun, isn't it? So we have Webull tonight after the bell. INTU, Intuit, and that's about a gap as well, too. That won't be bad. Ross Stores is going to be reporting after the bell. And that is really it. So 10 Limited as well. Okay, so there's a couple names. Webull, INTU, and Gap, I think, are going to be, and Ross Stores, ROST. So we got a couple names that we can go over with the expected move, and we're going to do that right now. Let's get this off of our screen. An additional liquidity grab here in the overall market before you find a potential bounce. It's hard to grab a falling knife today because it just keeps breaking through those lows. Now, let's get to our options, AI, expected move. And the options, AI. Oh, no, I didn't want that one. Okay. This is not what we wanted. Options, AI. Let's get this back here. Sorry for the lackluster. Options, AI, expected move. How come I can't pull this up here? All right, perfect. Now, bull. Let's take a look at oh, that's not it. Now is it? BULL. Doesn't even want to show it on here. What is that? What kind of garbage is that? INTU, Intuit. Doesn't even have Webull up on here yet. That's funny. All right, so we're gonna move on here, guys. INTU, Intuit. Let's see if we can get a gauge. All right, so 6%, that's going to put us a high of around $688 and a low of around $610. Is there anything from an option standpoint correlating? Considering how expensive it is, I would not be surprised to see that our options activity is slightly subdued. INTU. And here we go. Yeah, I mean, you got hundreds of contracts. That's nothing at the end of the day, right? Hundreds, so 630, that's where you're going to see some substantial size on the put, relatively speaking, with 1,000 contracts still currently open at that 630 strike price. And then 700 with 1,000 as well, too, at that $700 strike price. And then let's take a look at Ross Stores. So I have Ross Stores up here. We'll take a look at the options chain, ROST, to see if there's any high levels of OI or on the put and the call side. So we can see small concentrations, not the most active from an options standpoint. I think that needs to be taken into consideration without any questioning. But our highest level is going to be at that $170 strike price. The gamma, nothing crazy, but what we can notice here is that the at-the-money IV is starting to drastically grow, and that's what happens. The options market will price it in leading into the market. All right, I like some signals off of the lows here, OB. There's Ross Stores, there's INTU as well, too. I'm going to try to find Webull for the individual in the chat who is asking for it, but are we going to find a rebound here? Let's get involved in a little bit of... Okay, Webull does have a good print. So we're seeing multiple prints across the board. Long TQs, 5 minutes. I think that's going to be a good play there, Gaurav. So we're seeing the same thing across the board here on multiple names. I'll pull this chart up, and it's identical pattern. So at this point, it's pick your poison, I think. And here it is. So hammer, 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 hammer. Oh no, it's hammer time for sure. Continuum, that's not good for the old algo. It's going to be picking up a lot of things here, brother. We don't want the,
yeah, how's that been going?
It's good, man. It's ready to, I'm ready to launch it at any moment. Yeah. But going back to my point of being tied up in a little bit of an IBIT, but then I'll get that rocking and rolling as soon as we get out of that position, and then we'll get that going. But yeah, man, I've refined it. It's perfect. It's picking up everything that I want to see, and obviously running the back test on it and everything. So So yeah, it's really. Hold on, we'll hit this right here. It's good to go, man. It's good to go. I just need to switch it over. I just need to connect it to the API, and then that's it. So
you're good to go. Yeah,
and then it's rock and
you're
roll,
using
man.
using interactive for that.
Yeah.
Nice,
Most
good stuff.
definitely.
Good stuff.
It's best
Solid,
transaction.
solid stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the thing, man. Eventually, you realize that you do have to become partially hybrid, especially in this market.
Yeah.
You're not going to catch anything and everything all the time, and it's just like you go and review the market after the day's been done, and then you're just like, okay, well, there's a bunch of these trades that happened. If I was there, I would be likely to have taken them, but I just wasn't paying attention.
Yep.
And if you have something like an algo that's like kind of scouring the markets or scouring your baskets, then yeah, for sure, you give yourself a better opportunity to pick up on some of that stuff for sure. Yeah, good stuff. Pursuing that, man.
Appreciate that. Yeah, you got some going on too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I definitely am working on some algo strategies for sure. With the Jose in the back.
You ready to launch them?
Some reversion stuff. I have a decent idea of what I want to do, but at the same time, I'm having trouble quantifying some of the stuff.
It's hard.
Getting precise with some of the moments. It's just like, all right, there's a signal that can potentially pick up a lot of things, but how do you get it to be so precise? Being like, yeah, I pick up signals all the time as well, but then I parse them out, and I'm like, all right, this one is better, this one is not better. As of right now, I haven't gone in and really haven't been able to quantify what some of those things are. It's just like, okay, well, this looks better on the chart. This looks better kind of with the story that's been unfolding, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm just like, how do we kind of build that into part of the system as well? So it's a work in progress for sure.
Nice.
But yeah, coming along very well, I'd say. But yeah, 181.79s is the day low on Nvidia. Are we catching a bit of a bounce? I don't know, but it's starting to look slightly sideways. We're still very much in a downtrend, though. Do not want to argue against that. Still very much in a downtrend. It has not confirmed the trend break as of right now. Anywhere. I'm not really seeing any sorts of trend breaks as of right now anywhere. But yeah, let's see what it'll do here. 182s. Maybe we get to that 180 today, Joe. So I have no idea. The market does look
on
like
NVDA.
The market does look like it wants to take another leg down as of right now. So let's see what we have in store here. Nvidia, man, back-to-back candles. 15-minute candles that have been holding so well since the rejection of VWAP. You can see right here, VWAP rejects, when is this? Around 10:40. And then right now it's 12:45. And we're still kind of selling off, still in this downtrend. 15-minute bar is just holding back to back. So yeah, when will it stop? I have no idea, man. It seems like sellers are definitely in charge here. People in the chat quantifying your yeah, exactly. So Sage in the chat. I'm having trouble quantifying your reoccurring need to go long on Nvidia. Yeah, I know. That's the thing, man. I have trouble quantifying some of my stuff too. So good luck with that. If you get anything, let me know. But sometimes the signals trigger, and I'm just getting too aggressive with some of the move there. But what do you got going on?
Yeah, same thing here, man. I'm looking. It's obviously tempting to want to try and grab this just due to the fact of signals being printed left, right, and center, but they just keep getting sold aggressively. Let's head over to this. This is what I was going to pull up for everybody here. And let's get this rocking and rolling because I can give you a couple names that it probably has picked up here this morning. We'll head over to the daily and see what we got going on. Bang, November 13th. Yeah, see, so from a daily perspective, MSTR is not good. See, the thing about the quantitative approach is that you have to realize when to turn off these systems. And I think what I'm going to gauge here is around a 10-15% pullback. Just shut it off because it is a bullish strategy. And when we're in bearish markets, it tends to not work. When I ran through the back testing, what was I going to pull up here? Google. Let's head over to the 5-minute time frame. Okay, so no, yeah, it hasn't picked anything up here in a while, which is totally fine. I'm okay with that. A month ago, put on a decent trade. This is what I was looking for essentially there. So I'll take that one all day, every day. That's from October 13th to 20th. We'll see if it picked up anything on NVDA over the past couple of days, November 20th. So currently sitting in that position. Let's see what signals it grabbed. I mean, I can't complain about it whatsoever. It's still currently open. So that's what I'm talking about. I knew what it was going to pick up regardless because that's how I designed it. So there it is. I'll take this. You have to take that opportunity, especially at an extreme low. You notice how it didn't pick anything up along those lines, and that's exactly what I wanted it to do. The performance over the last little bit hasn't been spectacular whatsoever on this particular name, but profit factor is still there, and you run a 50% risk win ratio, or sorry, win percentage right there. So that's not bad. That's not bad whatsoever. I think it did perform relatively well. 2 for 3 on AMD. Yeah, it performed fantastic on AMD. November 20th, it did take a loss, so you have a couple of November losses, which is totally justifiable. But just look how much these outsized the losses: $400 there, $300 there, $2,600 win, $800 win, etc. So we'll see what it picked up. Exactly what I'm looking for. So the precision is there, and that's what I was talking about, just consistently refining it. And I told you guys, it's just essentially what I've had up here, and I'm not the best at executing it all the time. But what I can do, if I can get the computer to do it, then that's going to be significantly better and eliminate the kind of the bias aspect of me being like, hey, I like this, I don't like this. It doesn't care if it likes it or not, regardless. So there it is, Webull, not too bad, but I wouldn't be surprised if the performance over time isn't good on this one, considering how it's continuously bleeding, and sure enough, there it is. So what you want to do is you just want to give yourself a solid basket of stocks that you want to trade on and that are in steady uptrends, because that's when it typically works best. This will get stopped out here. Oh, no, is that, okay, so there it is off of this low. It hit that, so what time? Oh, at the same time? Okay, so maybe there's, yeah, it does get buggy at times, but I mean, hey, entry there, I mean, I can't complain about it. If you kind of expand the price action, then sure enough, bang, that's what we're looking for. Within the same minute, that's crazy, it got executed, so not too bad. Let's see if we can hold on to this NVDA trade here via the algo. If there's anything else particular, I don't think it picked up anything on the Qs as well. We're gonna go over this name. So November 10th was the last trade on that one. Doesn't perform the best on the ETFs either. Profit factor of 0.5, which isn't ideal, with a 33% win percentage. So we don't necessarily want that. And I ran it over multiple years, and it just never performed good whatsoever. But as for the November 10th entry, that's essentially what you want to do. If you have the ability to use it from a backtesting standpoint, is just go for further dated and just run back them, all the entries, all the exits. And then what you want to recognize is like, hey, what system works? So you do have to collect a lot of the data and see which specific candles work better than the others, and then you just essentially do a rinse and repeat and a refining of the system where you get more triggers. And that's the reality of trading. You have an algorithm type approach, but regardless, nothing is going to have a 100% win rate. If it did, like Neil and Sean say all the time, is that there's zero chance that anybody would tell anybody about it, because they would just keep that to themselves and live on a yacht somewhere. But that's not the reality of trading.
Yeah, exactly. You got to remember that some of the players that they don't really show face. Why should they need to? And yeah, that's always an interesting part of the market. It's funny, you know the Bloomberg terminal has a leaderboard. I don't know if you knew that, but Bloomberg terminal has a leaderboard, and some of the top guys on there have absolutely funny names. But yeah, shout out to some of those guys.
Is Ducks on it?
No, I don't know. No. I don't know if Dux is on the Bloomberg leaderboard there, but he's on some of his own leaderboards. I'm 100% sure of that. But
what am I checking out?
183s on Nvidia, maybe potentially catching a little bit of a bid here. Let's see how much time is left on this 15-minute candle to print. We have about 8 minutes, and is this question, guys? Big question as of right now. Is this the first green candle, or are we just going to slam right in and go from green to red on this candle today? I have no idea, but staying and watching. If we're going to get more of the same, then yeah, sure, we can go right back to green and push some fresh lows here. Apple coming in for some fresh lows as of right now, as it does look a little bit weaker. The rest of these 15-minute candles coming into the second half of their close are looking a lot greener than the one on Apple, so maybe some relative difference there. But just kind of watching, waiting. Let's see if we can push back up through 184. As this consolidation on Nvidia has been pretty choppy here. There's that bit of a curl here on Google as well. So let's see if that can potentially give us a little bit of a push here. There's some strength. Can we get to 24,500 on the Nasdaq, or we've seen this market do some crazy reversions, yes or no?
Yeah, we have.
Some V-shaped recoveries, yes or no? The question becomes, are we going to V-shape this move on the day today? And guess what, Joe?
What are you gonna?
I didn't hear no bell.
You didn't hear no bell yet.
I didn't hear no bell.
Can we get a poll? Let's get the poll up. Let's get the poll up. Do we V-shape reversal today?
Yeah.
Let's get the poll up there, Assassino, if you don't mind. Yes or no, a simplistic one. Do we V-shape reversal today? I already know which camp I'm sitting in. You don't have to disclose what camp you're sitting in if you don't want to. What camp?
what?
For the V-shape.
For the V-shape? Oh, I don't really care. I'm just like,
yes or no?
in my head, I'm just like, it's not a 0% chance. That's for sure.
Okay,
Right.
let's see. Hey, put it in the chat if you want to, but you're going to have the ability to vote here momentarily. Don't forget that. Katina Man,
It's all about probability.
you see this?
What's up?
192, 185.
Sick.
How many is that there? Yes. Oh, it is a couple of those, my friend. 0% chance, says Trendy Gox on the big shape. Big V reversal says Bailey buttons. All about, oh my God. I almost read that.
I didn't even see that one.
Yeah, full-time trader, no V, no way. All right. I see how you guys going. 1929 says Others Inc. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but I decided to read that one out there. But hey, shout out to all the individuals. Katina Man, yeah, nice work on that short there, brother. It's a really nice play on some of these neckline breaks. I'm posted up on TSLL. I don't know how much this is going to work. I should probably reduce the size a little bit, to be honest with you. I'm going to pull up the thing. Can we get that poll up, Assassino, or no? Oh, okay, yeah, cool, man. Do your thing. So I don't know if you're busy or not. I was just seeing. So there it is. As we're starting to come back in, I'm posted up at the lower end of the range here on TSLL. I'm going to give this one attempt. Other than that, that's all I'm going to give it, and that's going to be from 1620. I'll give it 20 cents or so. Just worth a risk. And if it wants to continuously bleed and fake a bunch of traders out, then by all means it can continue to do that. And if it does, I'm going to just look for the continuation of the flow to the downside. So, bah, says Alex Drummond. What? Oh, okay. No. He put the goat up there, I think, or something. That's why I just decided to say bah, but. Thanks for posting this video here. Guys, go check this out here. Brendo's, I think this is Brendo's short over here. Do we V-shape reversal today? That's as good as it gets. Look at, nice one on the little yachty entrance right there. Who's that, Jensen? Bang, nice one there. Ramin, so guys, go check out the YouTube shorts. Phenomenal jobs by the whole team and company. Now, I'm going to vote. I'm not going to tell you what I voted, but hey, 50-50 right now. Adair, what do you got for us?
We have more Fed comments. I'm sorry to let you guys know. Fed's Goolsby talking right now, saying inflation progress seems to have stalled, and that he's currently, quote, a little easy on inflation. They said they set a 2% target, and the 3% inflation is currently too high. He said that they actually made a sacred promise of 2% inflation. So yeah, I mean, again, kind of cautious here when it comes to some of these Fed speak, this time from Fed's Goolsby's. We send you back to Joe and Obi.
Thank you for that. So, yeah, there it is, guys. Let's see if we're going to get this bounce. I don't know if I'm going to catch this fill just yet, but you can see that we have this support level right here with a resistance zone starting to come in a little bit. So this might be a little bit of a bottom before we curl, and that's what I was talking about, just being patient, waiting for things to slowly start to turn around. Nice indecision print on IBIT right here off of these lows, and then now you're starting to get that small curl over. What do you got going on, Obi?
Nothing much, man. There's a bit of a curl happening here. So Nvidia is definitely getting a little sideways here. Chop, chop, chop. We attempted a push at the lows there. Didn't really come in. Pulling back up into this consolidation. I talked about the consolidation high being right at 184s. We're trading 183.70s right now. So let's see if we can push that 184 with any sort of distinction. Do we kind of continue to push up a little bit higher? That's the question I'm asking, but it's kind of chopping around, right? It hasn't really been able to get through that 184 as of right now. So maybe some sellers sitting there at 184s, but just watching the sideways chop. The market does look like it might be attempting something, but again, this 15-minute candle has been chopping green to red and now back to green as of right now. But something is weaker than the rest, Joe. And that is Apple. Apple
is it
continues
getting
to push
smoked?
fresh lows as of right now. So relative weakness happening there on Apple. And there is Nvidia 184. So now the question becomes, can we show any sort of distinction on this hold? Can we push a little bit higher? That's the real question as of right now. If the market can give us a little bit of a turn, then yeah, I like that. And this is what I said. I want to kind of start to get a little bit more if we can start to step back up for a potential reversion. But is it going to be clean? I don't think so. Is it going to be, pretty? I don't know about that. The downside has been very, very clean, right? That's something that I do want to mention. It's been straight sellers for the past couple of hours, very, very clean and methodic selling. So I'm just like, all right, well, when will it stop? Unusual selling for sure. A little bit of an overextension to the downside. Yeah, maybe, arguably. Bigger picture, it could also not be, right? So you got to understand that sometimes price action is happening maybe at an okay pace from a higher time frame, but maybe a little fast pace from a shorter time frame. At the end of the day, price action is just price action, man. So 184s, let's see if we can print the quarter, hold the quarter, print the halves. That's what I'm looking for, a potential bounce here on the market. With only about a minute, 30 seconds left, Joe, it does seem like this is going to be one of the first green 15-minute candles the market has seen in a little bit of a while. So let's wait and see. Google with a bit of a turn as well. What do you got going on?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just looking at the old algo here, see what we got going on. Nothing that I really like right now. I was just seeing what it had on Tesla, how it's been performing on Tesla as of late. Not very good. When the market is down, it does not perform. That's just not the ideal thing on in a downtrend. It's a bottom feeder at the end of the day. Google 291.21. Okay, are you long that one, my friend? Yes, sir. We just got it. We got a long alert, 291 right off the bottom. What a bottom pick on that one there, my brother. Nice grab. So there it is. You are starting to see a little bit of some buying pressure step right back into this market. Be cautious, though, ladies and gentlemen, depending how deep this pullback is going to be. I wanted to go long as well, too, here, right off that 1620 level. I was looking to grab, see if we can get a little bit of a pullback. Doesn't seem to be the case. Someone got to, exactly, someone got to do it, man. Someone's got a long. Let's see what we got here. So yeah, I mean, that's it. You got the long Fed's participant. Goolsby says he is uncomfortable about making too many rate cuts early. Okay, so there's just feeding a little bit of fuel to the fire up there with that stuff. Some turn to crypto. Yeah, you're getting a bit of a curl around here on IBIT as well, too, guys. So not too bad. I'm gonna still post up here. If I don't get this price, then I don't want it. I don't want it. So I'll be patient to see what we got going on. We go 2 for 2 on the session. Just run through some algo things. We can take a look at the options chain and see what the SPY and the Nasdaq are up to on today's session, considering, and see what we got going on. It's eerily quiet in here. So there it is. Let's see what the Qs are up to. Do we buy some puts for leading into tomorrow? 0 DTE. Those are going to expire this day. What are these going to be paying? How much are you going to pay for those? Yeah, look at the at-the-money IV on these near dated, man, 45%. And you want to look for something on the Qs and the SPY around 8%, which we're not going to be getting. So you're going to be paying a hefty premium. That's insane. Who's buying this? Who's buying this at the end of the day? $591. They're asking $542 for a 1 DTE? Get that garbage out of here, man. Get that garbage out of here.
A little bit of a premium.
Yeah, that's fool's gold right there, my friend. What do you got going on?
So finally caught a little bit of the move here on Nvidia. Here's the thing. I was trying multiple times. I do have to stare this down a little bit aggressively and make sure it continues to do what I'm looking for. As of right now, sorry, mic's kind of falling off right now. Yeah, I got to continue to keep an eye on it and really look at. Be precise with what it's kind of doing right now, and kind of piecing off as well. Did I get more? Oh no, I didn't get more. Hold on. Yeah, so 184s came in. We did push a little bit higher than 184. 184.15s is what we got to. And yeah, it kind of clipped me above 184s a couple of times, and we traded back below. So I'm just like, all right. But here's the thing, guys. We got that first green 15-minute candle both on the ES and the Nasdaq. So now that I'm really asking the question whether or not this is going to be the initiation, the start of the bounce. But here's the thing, guys. A lot of people were talking about, oh, why are you getting chopped up? Why are you getting chopped up? Here's the thing. Here's what I'm trying to get better with, especially when it comes to reversion, and especially with me knowing that I'm on the left side of the move, but I still want to get a feel. I talked about I want to pay for information in a sense, right? And I'm getting better with kind of building that skill as well, but getting that feeler in, I know we don't really talk about position sizing here, but best believe you can see 2 entries here, boom, boom, out, boom, boom, out, boom, boom, out. A lot of these are 2 entries. The only one that is more is where I have a little bit more conviction. And this one, you can see no outs here, boom, 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 boom. We're not breaking the low. And then it comes back down into the low. And I'm watching, I'm being very careful. I'm still pretty light. And then when it holds that 182 really, really well, and the market starts to print a little bit of a green, I'm just like, yes, I definitely want to be involved with this, and I want to get aggressive. So over here, I was more than 4 times the size I was every single time here. So I guess that's what makes the difference at the end of the day, right? It's like when things are not working, you want to stay light and nimble. When things are working and things are showing you what you want to see, then you better push the pedal to the metal and really push on the gas, because that's going to make the difference over time. Here's a little bit of the bid. Here's a second 15 green minute candle. Oh my God, here we go. Is this the beginning of the V-shaped reversion? I have no idea, but this is potentially the reversion of the reversion now. We are a little bit overextended to the downside.
Yeah, big time.
We'll see what happens.
Big time.
The reversion of the reversion may be starting, but so is Caroline Leavitt's press conference or press briefing. That is, of course, the White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. She's set to start this briefing at 1 p.m. It is currently 1:03 p.m. I am waiting for her. Again, these are not necessarily market-moving events, but comments could always be made that do end up moving the market. So I, of course, will be listening and keeping you all apprised of anything that does end up being market-moving here. I do want to let you guys know as well, we did get the 10-year TIPS auction coming in. High yield here was 1.843%. Prior to the auction, the yield was at 1.824%. So pretty close there. Nasdaq still trying to make this reversion of the reversion as we send you back to Joe and Opie.
All right. So yeah, guys, there it is. We're still posted up. You're starting to get a little bit of a bounce there. 183.38. You're long there, so you got $1 already, just like that. Obi on the NVDA move.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
I tried it a bunch of times. It's like it doesn't matter if I.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna need multiple.
Just trying to take the trade. No, I've already made back. And more technically on that push on that last trade, and I'm still holding a piece. So that's what I was talking about.
Tell them about the risk to reward, keeping stops in tight, and then just hammering.
That's literally what I was talking about. So it's just like, so I'm keeping it very, very light here. I know you can see my sizing. I know we don't really talk about it on the show. Yeah. But here, this initial entry, I know I'm not on the right side of the V. Yeah. Right. But I'm keeping it light. I'm really getting involved to feel it out. And I was talking to a trader from another firm in our pod as well over the weekend, and he was talking about how just like keeping it tight, getting aggressive when it's working, and I kind of lost my train of thought here.
So you're talking to somebody over the weekend?
Yeah, in the pod who's at another firm, keeping it tight, putting in the stop losses, and getting aggressive when it really matters. I think that's what makes the difference. I think we were just reflecting on that as well. I lost my train of thought there, but yeah. Potentially coming in the side now. Okay, so I found out. Okay, so I just remembered. So he was taking some reversions as well, but he was very much involved on the front side of the move, right? So here's the thing. I asked him, I was like, would you have had the conviction that you needed on the right side of the V with the amount of size that you pushed in if you were not involved nimbly on the left side? That's a serious question. And for me, everybody's a little bit different. I like to feel a little bit of pain first. That's just me.
Okay.
You know, this is how people have described it. A little bit of pain before the pleasure. So I'm just like, all right, give me a couple paper cuts. I want to feel it out. I want to take those hits. I want to feel what it feels like to be on the wrong side of the move a little bit. So I can make that distinct difference. I'm able to recognize when that distinct difference does come in, and I'm like, okay, things are absolutely different now. So now I have to start making different decisions. I have to start acting differently, maybe more aggressively as well. So that's the case. Here's 185. So here's a bit of reversion happening here on the market. Maybe I should be trading futures. I don't know. But today it is a very beta-driven market when it comes to some of these moves here, and we're finally catching a little bit of a bid. Where is the mean, you may ask? The reversion to the mean, the reversion to VWAP actually could be all the way to 190. Right? We are extended to the downside. We started off with morning highs testing in and around that of 196s. We dropped down to 182s. So the question becomes, if we are going to get a little bit of a relief rally, how far do we really go? Where is the mean actually sitting? Right? The mean of the volume-weighted average prices here. There are some other means as well that kind of show up as well. So which one of those do we revert to? I have no idea, but I'm waiting. We got all the way up to 185s, and I've been talking, and we came all the way back down to 184s. I'm just waiting. Show me the structure that steps up. Show me the structure that says, okay, we are totally done selling now. Market is moving. The market is turning. So are the Mag 7, and so are some of the market internals as well. So that's what I'm looking at as of right now. Let me know what you guys are trading. Let me know where the next trade is if you guys see that. What do you got going on?
Yeah, I'm looking for the next thing as well too. But that's what I was talking about earlier in the session a couple of minutes ago. Is just we see the same signal across the board, so that could be somewhat of a nice rebound because it's literally on every ticker that I have up here, and that's going to be on 8. So indecision print off the low, indecision print off the low, inability to break the low, indecision print. You guessed it, indecision, 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 indecision. So 8 out of the 8 tickers, and we can go through more if you would like. What is Apple up to? I know those prints are going to be there as well, most likely. AAPL, not as clean, but they're displaying themselves. I guaranteed that my algo did pick this up here, which isn't, oh, well, it is what it is. There goes Apple. For some reason, it looks extremely illiquid here. That's surprising, and then sure enough, you get that nice clean flush from 274 all the way down to 267. And then we're still posted up here on TSLL. I'm not going to chase it whatsoever, just due to the fact of the risk to reward. But other than that, guys, we can take a look at what we got going on. Any specific questions? If you want us to go over anything or any tickers that you want us to take a look at, just put it in the chat. NVDA. What did I get out at 185? It bleeds another $3, bleeding its own blood right there, which is unfortunate. But short, boom, 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 you get that move to the downside. Did BTC just bottom? Yeah, I think so. There's a nice look, and the volume supporting it here as well too, because I think that's really important to note. So you have that indecision print off those lows, and this is going to be your largest volume print of the day. If I was paying a little bit more attention, I think that's a pretty good signal to grab some. Yeah, big time Dinkelberg. Again, I'm looking for something. I'm posted up. I'm just not going to chase along all the way down here with the chance of us getting the pullback, which I assume that we will at some point. And if we don't, then so be it. Just not going to chase. So TSLL. Put on a couple solid trades, and now we're just cooling. All right, guys, we want to look at Robinhood. Yeah, we were just going over that one. We'll take another look. 2NY and myself were talking about Robinhood not too long ago. Yeah, I think we might be able to see double digits on this one, $90 roughly, maybe in the span of some time. But once again, you're cracking through necklines at 128 and heading a little bit lower. I think this is going to be a key support level. If this holds up, then I'm a big-time buyer. Again, I can't complain whatsoever. I hopped out of Tesla and I hopped out of Google, and then I loaded the boat on this thing, and I sold at 122. Am I going to catch the top all the time? Absolutely not. But at 122, I'm not going to complain about, because I can already buy that significantly cheaper than which I sold it for. So that's what I like there on Robinhood. Google is the only one that I really am upset about. But if you get a percentage metric, you get 115%, which is fantastic stuff. But if you ask me if I would rather have 115%, or from where I sold it at 122, 300+%. So, I mean, that's the beauty of some of these things. The APLD isn't too bad either, right? So there's the APLD downtrend. I know Neil is probably liking this as well too, as he says he likes to play the break of trend. So there it is on multiple occasions. APLD, one of them, and in the overall market, considering it was almost essentially waterfall type price action there, Obi.
Yeah, waterfall for sure, but now I'm questioning. We got a waterfall down. Do we get a fountain on the way up?
Look,
I'm looking for symmetrical action.
55% yes, safe to the V-shaped reversal.
55% said yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
there we go.
pretty good right now.
I think I did say it's a non-zero probability, and guess what? Already we're pushing up to about a 25% reversion. I'm looking for that 33% reversion. I'm looking for that 50% reversion as well. 50% I like. Just in general, as I think base case for reversions in general, just a 50% is a great place to look. I'm sure it's not always going to give you that, but I like to work in quarters and halves, just my thing. And sometimes maybe eighths as well, but yeah, you don't really see too much of that anymore. But 185s, nice little push. So we were getting a little bit of trouble through this 185 right now, but you can see when the selling's done, it seems, for now. I don't want to speak too soon. But it does seem like, Joe, that there were more buyers than sellers. Yeah. And then now there's more buyers than, there were more sellers than buyers. Now there's more buyers than sellers. So it seems like that's kind of done there. Let's see if we can print 186s. I got to do a little bit better with holding some more. I definitely had the most down here when I did start to see the right kind of stuff. But through that 184, if I'm paying a little bit more attention, I should definitely be adding some more through this consolidation break, because we did go sideways for about 45 minutes after straight quadunks to the downside. You can see here that sideways 45 minutes signified by these three 15-minute candles here on the Nasdaq, which kind of overlap in the last of the third being green. And then the fourth one, look at that, prior bar high break on the 15-minute candle on the futures on a day where the market is definitely in play. So where are my prior bar traders at? Hopefully you guys are definitely involved in that reversion. When it did come in, there's nothing cleaner. There was no cleaner reversion than that of the futures as of right now. So I think we have some breaking news. So what's going on, Adair?
Yeah, we do have some more comments from the Fed to discuss here. Fed's Goolsbee just said that AI investment does raise concerns of a possible bubble. So Fed's Goolsbee saying that AI investment could raise concerns of a possible bubble. Back to you.
All right, but by all means, should just adding more fuel to the fire. It's regardless of what these people have to say. You just have to follow the price action. That's going to tell you worlds enough. So here it is, AMD starting to recover off of this hammer candle, 213. Katina, man, you said you're Google, right?
Oh yeah, that Google's
all right. Nice grab off of those lows. Oh yeah, he was in 91s. Quick four slapper right there. Sorry, man. Sorry, buddy. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's $5, not $4 at the end of the day. But yeah, really nice trade. Diamond hands, Deontay Wilder.
Hey, you got to teach me some of those diamond hands, man. I had to hold this Nvidia, dude. You heard me, right? I had the most at the lows. I had the most at the lows, even though I got chopped up on the way down. It's fine. But where's the next trade? I'm in the trade I want to be in, but I should be in more. When the market is in play, I got to be in TQs. I got to be in some Nvidia. I said Google. I'm using Google as an indicator. I should be in Google as well. That's working out really nicely. Amazon as well. Amazon, beautiful waterfall in the Amazon, but I didn't go to that forest today, and that's coming in with some nice reversion as well across the board. Very beta move for sure. Yeah, Sean's saying. I'm trying here, guys. Yeah, for sure, man. We definitely have to follow along with what some of the goats are saying. Say yeah? I am long, but the thing is, like, I'm thinking about, like, how do I do better with this, right? It's just always. How do I do better with it? I know I'm long already, right? I was long before. I was long while people were saying, oh, this is a Jover. You know, this is going down to the downside. 182s, but you know what? When it does come in, I did well to kind of get aggressive and stayed with the move as well. So, but now the question becomes, okay, cool. Now how do you stay with the move and then get aggressive once more as structure steps up? So like I said, I'm looking for that structure to hold, to get more involved, and I'm looking for these pull. So that 185 was a bit of a key for me, and I'm looking at the chart. We haven't really pulled back, right? So this pull up into VWAP could very well be just as symmetrical. Some of the best reversions I think are beautifully symmetrical. Could be just as symmetrical as the sell-off, and the sell-off did not give you much of a chance to get involved with the short unless you were chasing lows. Unless you were just like, okay, well, the market's going down, I am willing to hit the low of the market, thinking that this is mispriced and we are going to trade lower. So if you had that mindset, you definitely caught a bit of the short to the downside. But the question now becomes, is that selling over? Are we done for the day? Are sellers going to step right back in, maybe at better prices for them, right? I have no idea, but it's always about changing probabilities. The probabilities are always changing with every tick, with every candle, with every print. So you got to, over time, you got to develop that ability to assess that changing probability real time, especially if you're trying to day trade. Now, swing trading, a little bit easier because guess what? You have a lot more time. It's a lot slower to kind of assess some of those changing probabilities. Now, of course, swing trades, something can happen overnight, and boom, situation changes overnight.
Oh,
right? That's a different story. But when you're watching price action and watching price action build, that's the kind of action that I'm looking for as well. KC saying, look for dips on higher lows for buyers. Exactly. So I'm looking for pullbacks into 185s. 185s was a little bit of trouble. 184s was a little bit of trouble, right? And this is just simple. Sean talks about this all the time. Support and resistance, right? Sean is a big proponent of his trading is support and resistance. And it makes a lot of sense why. Because it's just like that builds structure. So I'm looking at that same kind of support and resistance. 184s was resistance. We broke out of it. We pushed higher. We extended all the way to 186s. Now, when we pull back into 184s, do we hold or do we kind of pull back in and break down? I'm looking for that resistance to turn into support to really show me that, okay, buyers are willing to step into the stock and into the market today, and maybe we step a little bit higher. But as of right now, you can see this 15-minute candle with only about 11 minutes left is printing pretty red, and we've reverted about 50% of that prior 15-minute candle, which was pretty aggressively long as well. Yep. So those are all the things that I'm watching. We'll see. We'll wait and see what where the next trade is. Let's see. DLV asking. I have no idea what that means.
Oh, nice. Let's go.
Yeah. What do you got going on?
Oh, no, I'm just looking at the old go-go right here.
Okay.
Yeah, so go-go gadget algo right now is that's starting to work out right there. Bang, picks up the beauty on NVDA, and that's what I'm talking about, just eliminating the discretionary aspect. So go-go gadget algo over there. Let's see if it, on Google, I didn't see anything. Yeah, see, I want that. It's all right. You can't have it all. Sometimes it's hard to quantify some things, as Obi was mentioning earlier. In the session. Did it do this? Did we take a look at this one? So shout out to that. No, we didn't get anything over there, rightfully so. Robin Hood, nope. And we checked on Tesla. So there it is on Tesla as it entered the trade. Now we're starting to get this pullback in which I was anticipating and looking for. So is this going to be the bottom? A nice indecision print. I better head over to a lower time frame. I like that. So I'm going to post up here once again and look for a potential long here. This is the pullback that I was looking for. We did kind of just engulf about 10 minutes of trading to the top side. So let's post up at 40s to see if we can get something. Now I'm chasing it at this point because I was posted up at 20s, but I'm willing to take it at 40s. Let's see if we can get that move here back into some prior support levels. You can see that we're bouncing right in this neck of the woods, and the buyers I think are pretty engaged right now because these pullbacks are slightly getting bought back up. But again, I'm going to post up right where I want, and I don't want anything else other than that specific price in which I am once again posted up on. So, who did the Fed report? AMD is dead. Oh, I didn't see anything. Important rules use sign before ticker. Yes. So, guys, make sure you get those votes in as well, too. We'll vote one more time, $, and then the ticker in which you would want us to see me particularly talk about. We got 104 subs on Tesla, 81 on NVDA, and then 49 on the Big Bear BBAI. What about IBM Grandmother Garden? Oh, I like that name. Well, yeah, considering I like that name and I love my grandmother, I am going to take a look at IBM. for you here. So IBM, let's take a look at it, a daily. Not too bad. I mean, you are, from a percentage standpoint, down 10%, which isn't horrible, right? But what I was talking about earlier is just be cautious of the potential necklines that can be broken. And where is that neckline that we are looking for? Is that's going to be around $288. Now, we are rebounding right now, which is a positive sign, but it's only one single session. Be patient, be patient. I think that you'll get paid off eventually and get in at prices that you want. Are we forming a wedge? Not necessarily, but this uptrend is still fully intact, and that's a thing of beauty. I see you building an algo. I've made some for small caps. Nice, 4K. Yeah, I've been working on it for quite some time. You're fist pumping over there, Obi. You got something?
No, I was just, I'm just saying, like, damn, because I was watching the push into 185s. I did get not really aggressive, but I did kind of push into more here, and we pull back in, and yeah, so I was just like, well, I don't really necessarily want this anymore right now, because I was looking for it to go right away, but again, I could very well be wrong. Still looking for the same thing. Still looking to see if that 184 sustains with any sort of distinction. Still looking to see if this 15-minute candle, how do we close? Do we close a little bit higher? Are we just making a higher low, right? That's another question as well. So just being patient, just waiting, watching here as well. Punched out on that Nvidia at break even, and I'm willing to take some more, right? I'm just like, I don't necessarily want to lose on this as of right now, but also willing to maybe potentially look for better prices a little bit lower if it can give it to me. If I see, that's the thing with you know, trying to read the tape and reading the flow as well. It's just sometimes you see the stuff coming, right?
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I was watching this. I'm forgetting the name, but he was talking about this trader interview, this algo trader that I was watching. He was talking about, like, is it easy to predict what something will do 5 years from now? Not really. Is it easy to predict? What's a higher probability? Predicting something that's 5 years from now, or predicting something that's 5 seconds from now? Right? I think that 5 seconds from now is much, much easier to predict when it comes to reading order flow and things like that. So it's just like, all right, well, you see those moments happen on the tape sometimes where you're just like, I know this is probably not going to go in this direction. You could be right or wrong. Like I said before, it's all just probabilities. But if you see some price action that suddenly flips the probabilities for you, you're just like, okay, well, the probabilities just switched in my mind. So I need to make a decision here. Sometimes you're just like, why should I even lose on that position? Let it do its thing. Let it figure it out. Let the probability stack back on your side, and then get involved again. Especially when you have a little bit of certainty as well. When you have uncertainty, yeah, sure, you throw in that stop. You're just like, all right, cool. I'm more than willing to take it if it comes into here. So here's that 185 retest. So I was definitely a little wrong on that one. For now, as buyers kind of step in on top of that 184, but I want to see more, right? We talked about that resistance turn into support. Let's see some of that support potentially come in and form with some meaningful action here. So let me know in the chat what you guys are trading. I'm just trading Nvidia. Today is earnings day one, guys. There it is. There's that bid getting slammed back into 184. So a little bit of turbulence here. Didn't really like it. I was looking for, again, we talked about that symmetry. That symmetry wasn't there.
Yeah.
That's another piece of confluence. So
there you go. Bang stuff.
Where's
Bang, bang,
trade?
bang. So yeah, I mean, there it is, guys. Siren, hit the sirens. Listen, we understand. Okay, so we have the poll, 1,600 votes. Let's get everybody engaged here in the chat. I know we've been pretty solid, man. We got 7,000 individuals watching here today. All you can do is just hit the like and subscribe. Don't forget. It's essentially free, right? So I'm going to hit this like. I'm going to refresh, and we need we got 6,200 people watching. If we don't got at least 10%, then we might have to end things right now. 540? What kind of what? No.
Yeah, look at how many people are watching.
Yeah, come on. That ain't much. And then we're gonna do a little something, get the chat a little bit more engaged. There we go, just like that, 600. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, it's right here, and it's free. It's free. It's free. I can't say it anymore. So we'll hit this one right. I can say it a lot more.
To like and subscribe. This trade has unlimited upside.
Bang. There it is. So we got a lot of potential. Thank you guys. 700 likes just for that. All right. Now we got those. I appreciate that, Mateo the Potato. I appreciate your thoughts on. Okay, so let's also do this, guys. Here, get some more people engaged in the chat. We're gonna write our status on which we are sitting on in the day, whether it be green or red or flat. I'm gonna go green here because we're sitting on a nice green day. We're gonna go green heart there. So get your emojis in the chat. Get some more people engaged. We're still posted up. I'm curious to know everybody's status. You don't gotta type it. Just do a nice little emoji. Type it or emoji. That's not too bad. But red unrealized. Okay, that's fair. So you're sitting on some green, red unrealized. You're sitting on a trade right now. Sorry, guys, Mike was off races at the open, says Silverback. Yeah, I mean, if you can get that in there. Red. Who else do we got? BTC green says, I can't even pronounce that at the end. I apologize. Go Bills. Oh, okay, that's a great question. There, Go Bill's a good friend of the show, showing me his stuff to show to Neil all his his Buffalo Bills memorabilia, which is cool. Up 100K, says Todd McLean. Gee, all right, brother. Where are you going this weekend? Red says RBH1523. Down says Bria Powers as well too. We're getting the dab from TP. Cricket Hub, a whole lot of green right there. I feel you, Joseph Brown. We've all been in that boat before. But other than that, guys, a nice like Bills 38, Houston 23, says Neil. Very interesting stuff. But here it is, guys, posted up at 1640s. Once again, I put on 2 trades for the day, and we're going to wait to get involved in some potential longs, as I do believe that we might be able to get a move somewhere close to the volume-weighted average price. But time will tell. I think it's going to be an all-day grinder to that point, because there's only 2.5 hours left of the intraday session as well, too. But don't forget, you have Blue Ocean, which fires up 8 p.m. sharp. I think there's going to be there's going to be a lot of activity, I think, in Blue Ocean tonight.
Oh, yeah,
due to the volume stepping in to the market, which is going to be a pretty good time. So make sure you check out Obi on the Blue Ocean. You know, obviously, you have no contact.
I'll see you guys on the tape.
I'll see you guys on the tape. So if you're watching Tesla tape and you're seeing transactions,
Tesla or Nvidia, I'll see you.
You're going to see this guy. So just wish him the best of luck. Browns and Tens puts in Trader TV. I was up 1.6K. Now I'm up 7K in puts. Says Guap 10. Sounds like you got a lot of Guap there. So that's good. Hangry Wife. Do you trade boats through TradingView Direction? I don't know what that means. Hangry Wife. I don't know what the boats are. Do you know what boats are?
They probably mean boats exchange, like the boat. Like
oh,
boats,
is it a gateway?
The Blue
or
Ocean
something?
gate. Yeah,
oh
yeah.
No. I just use Blue Ocean.
Yeah, so we have the boats. We have a couple. We have a few different gates, but yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, I know there's Blue Ocean, and there's another one that I consistently see on my tape, but it's mainly BL.
I don't remember the name off the
yeah,
top,
but it's mainly BL.
There's only a couple of gates that we
Boats
have access
Blue
to right
Ocean,
now,
okay,
but yeah, I think as more people kind of trickle in, more volume comes in.
I don't know if I want that. I don't want that, Obi.
I mean, it's just a natural progression of things, right? Markets become more and more efficient. It's just, you know, it is what it is. That's why people like emerging markets as well.
Okay, mine says, so BO on both. Mine says BL on my exchange, so I get BL.
Yeah.
Listen, sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to answer a question in the chat.
Yeah.
But we can get to that in a second after we finish this thought. What's up? You were asking me something.
No, I was going to say, I think the edge lies in Blue Ocean with the reduced number of participants. That's where I'm standing.
Yeah.
That's where I stand.
No, yeah.
That's where I stand.
I think so. I think there's definitely some of that there for sure. But at the end of the day, man, like it's ever changing. The market landscape is ever changing, and just like any other market, if things start to, if there's opportunity, it's like, how do I see it? It's like cars kind of driving down a highway where the volume on the highway is pretty heavy, and if you have pockets along the highway, it'll eventually get filled. Someone will take over that spot because of how crowded and how much more volume.
Yeah, I want less cars on the highway.
So it's just like, yes, the things that are available, the opportunities may decrease, or the edge may increase because people are doing it faster than you, or they're there before you. But that's just the natural course of things when in markets, right? Things come and go, and I don't really mind. I think the more the merrier, more liquidity, the better. I think it's so that I can effectively size up. You know what I mean? So that's another thing as well.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's really your perspective, how you view it. How you view it. I'm going to be a little bit, I guess, slightly abrasive and just be like, yeah, more exit liquidity for me. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
That's all it is.
I'm going to say.
At the end of the day, that's the perspective I see it as. That's just what it is. More players, more money. right?
Yeah, but also more players to take money from you.
That's what I said. Oh, for sure. Yeah, it goes both ways.
Yeah, it goes both ways. Listen, if we're going to go by your highway traffic analogy, me personally, less participants on the highway, I like more. You can navigate significantly easier, in my opinion. And again, I'll stand by this. You traded significantly more than I do, OB. But what I've noticed is that I like the dwindled amount of participants. Why? Because that means there's less biases, there's less opinions on what things should or how they feel price should go. And I think that's where I find my best trading in Blue Ocean comes from.
Oh, for sure. I think you got to remember, the more players that come in, that also means a lot more smarter players as well.
Exactly.
And, it's a thing. You want to play in an arena where you're not necessarily the biggest fish. Sorry, you're not the smallest fish.
Yeah,
right?
Nor the biggest sometimes as
bigger fish in a smaller pond kind of concept there. But yeah, it's interesting to look at. So I wanted to go back to Dropped System in the chat, who did ask a question, I think a few minutes ago, kind of missed it, but I do want to go back to it and answer it. They were asking, I just had the chart pulled up here as well. So they were just asking, Obi, in the case of Nvidia, do you use EMAs? If so, how and what do you set it at? All right, cool. I can take a look. I was going to take a show at you, but that doesn't make any sense. But I'll show you guys what I kind of look at. I look at the 8 EMA, I look at the 21, I look at the 50, and I might even look at the 200. So I just kind of go in, type in indicator. We can do EMAs, or what do I have up here? Let me try to find this exact same indicator here. Okay, cool. So I have the 8 EMA. And this is the strategy 8/31/21 multiple moving average. Is this the one? I think this is the one here. So anyway, this is not the specific one, but this is kind of what I use. I don't want to see a lot of these ones here. Don't really need a lot of this garbage. Just give me the regular EMAs and SMAs here. So I don't think this is the right one either. But basically, I use an 8 and a 21 for the most part if I am using moving averages. Now, that's not always the case. I'm using different things to define trend. Now, we went over this a couple days ago. There's different ways you can define trend. One could simply be just a prior bar hold. So if we look at a 15-minute chart, you can see prior bar hold really, really well. And the trend doesn't necessarily technically break until we distinctly break that pattern. Now, you can also use trend lines as well. If you use a trend line, that came in really nicely on Nvidia here. So there's the trend line. So you can see right here, boom, that trend line break. That's where the bid came in, 182.39, 182.89 is there. But if you're using moving averages, so I said I use the 8, so you can just search up an 8 EMA here and just throw that on just a simple 8 EMA. Hopefully this is as simple as it gets. There you go, boom. So an 8, I'm looking at that, and that breaks trend here at 183.60s, right? So yeah, a lot of different things you can use. I'm just using the moving averages as confirmation. I'm not gonna be like, oh, this crossed that, therefore I should execute. I know that's a valid method. I know a lot of algos may potentially use that method as well, but that's not something I'm using all of the time. Now, there are times where, yes, I'm definitely looking at that, and that's adding confluence. But in my opinion, that's confirmation. And by the time confirmation happens, you may have lost some edge already. So because a lot of people are looking at confirmation, right? So you got to find. In my opinion, I was just like, I need to find nuances in things that people maybe are not looking as close or are not looking at as closely. That's price action. That's order flow. That might be some other statistics in terms of overextensions and reversions as well. Things like that. You guys saw me kind of starting to dabble after a certain point where I'm just like, this is getting into the range where, yeah, I do want to start getting a little bit involved. I'm still working on that. That's still a work in progress. I have to work on being like, okay, when it does get into that range, I have to start lightly, be more nimble, and when it actually starts to show me what I'm looking for, and I showed you guys that, I do get aggressive, significantly more aggressive. I got to start getting better at getting exponentially more aggressive, and that's what I think will definitely make the difference when it comes in. But that's how I use my moving averages. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit there. Nothing too crazy, just as an indicator for measuring trend. Don't really use those crossovers as much, but when things get really, really overextended, yeah, I'll throw on a moving average and be like, all right, I don't know, the tape is getting pretty choppy. I'll use this indicator to give me a little bit better of direction on the day. Market's pulling back here, Joe. What do you got going?
Yeah, same thing. I put a little bit of size here on TSL to satisfy Mr. Easy Street there. New traders, listen up. First month free. That's right. We're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to Elite. Analyze, strategize, capitalize. Our platform, it's everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with backtesting, reliable real-time data. Global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform. Don't miss out. Execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or check the link in the description. All right, guys, let's see what we got going on. So there it is, posted up at 50s. We catch that one there on TSLL. Let's see. It's probably going to break 40s here. That's where I was posted up. I only have small size, so I'll do a little bit of an addition over there because I think we are going to be coming into that level. So I'll go a little bit below that 37s, and then we'll just get full size at 37s there as it's starting to come in and probably going to crack some of these support levels. And that's when we want to start to participate. So there it goes to the downside, and there it goes. We caught that 37s right there. So now let's see if we can get an additional bounce here in TSLL. Again, I was going to be, sure enough, I wanted to get in at 30s, but it just kind of went without us. There we go, bang, bang, a couple, we'll take it right there. So I wanted 20s, but then it was just off to the races. They give you that 60 cents as quick as you'd like. A nice steady grind higher. I'm going to cancel this bid on IBIT, considering we're in TSLL now. If it breaks 35s, risk is going to be really tight here, guys, because if we break 35, chances are we're going to be able to get 16, 25s, and 20s, and then that's where I'm going to post up. How does NVDA have those earnings and be this much down? Go Bills out? That's a fantastic question. It's literally the nature of the beast. I mean, great numbers, good guidance. It's just that the market's frothy. They want to price, I guess, I think it's too expensive right now. If I could get behind the scenes and figure out why the market is bleeding, then I could tell you there's so many factors that can come into play. But yeah, I mean, the reports are good. The street will realize that eventually. Well, obviously they have realized it with what happened after the report. Eventually they'll step back in. Right now, we've just been on too much of a run from April. We're overextended. We may, I don't know, further dated overbought if you're using RSI or something along those lines. So it just needs to cool down. Unfortunately, we can't just go up all the time, and that's just the nature of the market. And you have to be prepared for other things. So Joseph, a killer earnings report. Yeah, exactly. All of them great. Very good point. Microsoft, Intel, Nvidia, Hood. Like, these are great numbers. Good time for CSPs at 160, says Shawpaw. Love your thinking. That's exactly what you want to do. So there it is. Do you think peeps are just taking profits, TLP? Absolutely. Absolutely, especially the bigger boys. So I don't think it's anything to be too overly worried about. We went over some things in the overall market as well, too. So there it goes, right? Like, so I'm going to get out of this here because I'm going to be able to get a better price. So, yeah, got to be patient. We hopped in there. It wanted to bleed. I was going to wait for 20s, and then sure enough, we take nothing there. So yeah, I'm going to sit on my hands a little bit because you do see things start to curl over as AMD is heading back towards the low of the day. So not too good of a look there. We want to see these bottoms have the ability to hold up. And if they don't, then who knows what can happen. And this is what I was talking about. When you're going long, you just have to be cautious of some of these pullbacks here. Just due to the strength and obviously the velocity in which we had sold off, at what point did we think we were going to go all the way back to opening price or where we started the day off? I don't know. I didn't have that hunch. But at the end of the day, what am I? Who am I? So AMD, the Qs bleeding as well too, heading lower. Katina, man, I know you said you were short the TQs, so not too bad of a look there. And again, if you just sit and you be patient, eventually you will get the price. Don't chase. Don't do this. Multiple dollars on that one. So there it is on TSLL. I'll take one more stab at this. I'll post up at 25s to see if we can catch something there. Same size and everything. I'm not going to reduce it or anything along those lines. And we'll look for a potential rebound and a bounce here in the market. So, but if not, it could be really weak, and that could just be a micro breath, and then we head and put in some new lows of the day. You can see from a daily perspective as well too. You want to zoom out. Someone said this in the chat this morning as well too, Joe, zoom out. And yeah, it's such a valid thing because it's extremely important. So if we look at this, and this is what I'm talking about, necklines being broken. Once it snapped, you're to the downside, and now you have multiple tests of that neckline, and pressure's starting to step right back in. So where's that next level that can be broken? 397. Let's see if we have any high levels of open interest here. That's going to tell us a lot as well, too, on TSLL. I think that's really, really important to note. TSLA, we don't care about TSLL from an option standpoint. So where is that high level in that concentration? That's going to be at 415s. We're already south of that. 440s, we're big time south of that. We're sitting at 401s right now, and I don't see anything that is overly alarming other than the at the monies, in which we have 16,100 contracts and 31,000 right there already traded on the session. But look at this here on NVDA, in which we were talking about earlier in the day. That's what gave me a little bit more conviction to short this market this morning. 276,000 contracts traded on NVDA at 200. Like, okay, that is cash, right? That is a lot of money. I don't know why the open interest isn't loading right now, but there's substantial size. I'm curious to see if that's still going to be around that. And if it's writers, you're going to see them go until tomorrow. And if they start to roll over, then I think that's something that you most definitely want to keep an eye out on. I don't know why this is doing this. Good stuff on that one there, Obi. I got to see why the old platform is kind of glitching here.
Yeah, more lows.
Oh, there we go.
Seem like here across the board. Good reason to get out of Nvidia. I was like, yeah, that's not the flow. That's not the flow I'm looking for. And yeah, back through 184s all the way down to 183s. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not involved in that one anymore. From all the way up there, right? Do I want to get involved? Do I want to stay involved? Maybe, potentially. I want to see. We gave back this bid, so I talked about a potential iteration where, yeah, sellers could step right back in. And it seems like that's the path that we're taking right now. We could only get up to 24,600 from a bounce from 24,300, so about a 300-point push on the Nasdaq there, and pulling right back in, giving it all up once again. So yeah, seller dominance steps in right away. Bill Love, I see you on the chat. Yeah, definitely. You gotta have some safe words for sure if you're getting long in this market, getting absolutely rocked here as well. But Circle, maybe a little bit of a push there. That was a nice reversion to VWAP. Some reversions came in pretty decently, some not so much. I was looking for a reversion to VWAP here on Nvidia. That was all the way up at 190s. We got to 186s, so $2 off the lows. That's fine, whatever. It is what it is. Just trying to stay with the program and trying to stay with what I'm trying to see on the tape as well. Yes, getting involved on the left side of the V. Got to do a little bit better with that, but sometimes it is it's some good information for sure. That gives me the conviction to go as hard as I can on the right side of the V as well. But over time, I'm sure I'm definitely gonna clean that up a little bit more as well. Did not mean to do that. There we go. So sometimes when you shake a window, everything kind of disappears here. So I got to pull up the chat once again. But yeah, crazy morning. Earnings day one on Nvidia, right, guys? So the market has definitely brought us some craziness on the day today. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Felon saying, Obi, what happened to for the market to drop like that? Jack saying ES is forming a nice engulfing candle on the daily. It's indecision everywhere right now. And Ashik is saying you sold the position. Yeah, I sold much earlier, above 184s on Nvidia. But yeah, somebody else in the chat earlier was asking as well, Obi, do you think the selling today is dumb? Here's the thing, man. That's where you can get yourself into a little bit of trouble, right? When you're looking at price action and you're just like, wow, this is so dumb right now. Why is it doing this, right? It leads you down a path of emotion, which I strictly try to avoid as best as possible. I'm trying to take emotion as much out of my trading as possible. It's still definitely there, but I'm talking about emotions that lead to negative behaviors, right? There's definitely emotion that's good, that can lead to good behavior, and I'm getting better at working with that as well, right? It's just what I'm realizing as well. Before it was just like, oh, I just need to get all of the emotion out. I just have to be, straight robot. No, sometimes you get that feeling, you get that emotion, and it may be your gut telling you that this is the trade. this is definitely the trade, and you can use that emotion and that gut feeling to your advantage, right? So there's different ways. You got to work with the you got to work with the self as well, right? And that's part of the trader's journey at the same time. So, anyways, ATR reversal saying Aura Alpha here. Yeah, but yeah, no, I don't really think that any type of selling or buying is dumb. At the end of the day, I'm trying to do my best not to argue with the market. I know counter trend trading and reversions, it sounds kind of counterintuitive almost if that's the case, but at the end of the day, I'm just trying to do my best at trying to listen to what the price action and the chart is telling me, and that's the goal, right? At the end of the day, we try to get a little bit better at doing that every single day. 182's on the horizon here. So yeah, solid tell there. It was a nice push up into 186s, and it just told me that, yeah, I'm not gonna go that way anymore. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm willing to take that hit. I don't care if I'd rather lose here than lose all the way down here if it's really gonna show me that kind of pressure, that kind of a flow that really skews probabilities against me, being like, the probability of 184 is holding as resistance turned into support just dropped down significantly. So I don't even want to be there anymore. And lo and behold, the market speaks for itself here as it's breaking down to some fresh lows. But the question becomes, the market is speaking. The market is letting you know. We're all seeing the same kind of information, right? Question is, are you really listening? That's the question. What do you got going on?
Yeah, I'm sitting here listening to what Tesla's telling me right now, Obi, and it's telling me that it doesn't really like this long attempt and just go with the flow to the short side. So we tried that one long here that didn't work. So let's see if this one can get going. If not, we go 0 for 2 on the longs and we go 2 for 2 on the shorts. So what are we going to do? We're going to look to go short once again, or just at this point, I have no issue. It's been an average day, a pretty good day. I can't complain. Or actually, not pretty good. It's been an okay day. And I don't want to give too much of that back trying to long this market. I have no issue sitting on my hands. I put this on for you, Mr. Easy Street. So you better be thankful, all right? No, in all seriousness. It is what it is. You want to see a little bit of action. Let's get the action. Action Rampage Jackson right here. Google. Some solid prints, but I do just believe that we're going to continue to head a little bit lower. You can see just the weakness within the tape. That's something that you need to focus on. It's a really mixed bag, and sometimes you can get caught in the matrix of that there. Jag, I'm good, brother. How you feeling now? Yeah, Jag, I remember you were pretty sick for a while, man. I hope you're feeling better, my friend. TSLL, be an adult and just trade why don't you? Hey, listen, Christoph Ocean. What would you rather have, a 1% gain or a 2% gain? And if you would rather have 1%, then by all means, go ahead and trade Tesla when I'm trading TSLL, which is 2x. So for every 1% that you get in Tesla, I'm getting 2 over here. Quick maths. Come on, brother. Come on, man. What kind of BS is that? It doesn't matter about the price at the end of the day. It's about your percentage gain. So that's why, right? Let him know. I kid. I know you're kidding. I know you're only kidding. I know you're kidding. Be a man, as they would like to say. Preach. Joe likes to max bet. Yeah, what you're telling me, man. I trade leverage products, options, man. Those things can make you lose the old head top there. All right, let's get out of this here. We're just giving it back too much trying to chase these longs. That's it for me trying to attempt any form of a long. We do take a couple of hits on TSLL on that one. Adios, muchachos, and we'll be accepting for what we have going on for today. It is unfortunate we do get. I know, Frank second. I know. You're telling me. Trust me. I didn't want to, but I did it. So once again, guys, make sure you get those dollar signs in and vote. We can go over some other things. I think it's just best to go with the flow, as the Nasdaq, the TQs have put in a new low of the day as well too, guys. So a lot of bleeding going on. That was just a pullback before we decided to take an additional leg lower. We couldn't quite get to the volume weighted average price, which is totally fine. Another neckline for AMD to potentially break. And if we look at this name from a daily, man, oh man, and there it goes, right? Like, so a big time neckline break in today's session. A high of around $233, and you're trading around $209 in advanced micro devices. So not too good of a look. You most definitely don't want to be trying to catch this falling knife just yet, guys, all right? So there's IBIT starting to bounce a little bit more. See, if I had just waited with my post at 1620s, we would have been okay, but it's still bleeding. There it goes. Another leg to the downside, Obi. Man, oh man, the bleeding continues. Let's take a look at these legs. I know we're well over 600 now, which is good. Let's see if we can get that to 1,000. Oh, we're almost there. 5,800 of you watching. We got 900 there. 33 can't hit the dislike. I'm gonna hold on, boom, 32, and then we're back up to 33. So guys, do us a solid favor and hit the like and the subscribe if you have not already. And that number will continue to grow on the day. 946, a quick 13, just like that. Thank you guys very much. And if there's any specific questions, I mean, we got 10 minutes left in the day here. VIX at 40 is your target, says Matt M. Yeah, let's take a look at VIX here. What are we up to on the day, man? This thing must have had a fantastic session for those who are bullish. All right, there it is. Now up to 27. You have VIX. Hold on now. Let's get back to this daily. You have VIX. Your primary target on the VIX is 40? Come on, man. I forget, there's a statistic that so when the VIX climbs up over 80% in one session, which has happened only on a couple of occasions, shortly after the market gets really euphoric and you see more aggressive buying, hence sending the VIX lower. So spike one, you get that big time move higher, sells right back lower. And then in our April spike, look what happens when you get that spike above 60. What happens to the VIX? Things start to cool down. And when the VIX is cooling down, you get that inverse correlation between the overall market and the fear index. And then here we go. This is March 20th. That's going to be your COVID. Boom. It only happens so often, but when it does, I think there's a pretty good opportunity. February of 18, another big spike up into 50. What happens preceding that, Obi? Continuous selling. And what is continuously selling is the market. What do you got going on?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely selling here back down through these 182s here on Nvidia. So let's see if we can get a little bit lower, dropping it down real nice all day long, right? All day long. No relief. None, brother. Well, maybe a little bit of relief. We had some relief, but here's the thing. When it comes right back in through the lows, I like that a little bit better here. Let's see if there's continuation. That's the real question. Do we get some real continuation here through the lows? 182.20s. Sorry, that's my average. 182s is the price in question right now, and the day low currently is sitting at 181.79. Yes, 181.79. So we got really close to that on that drop. The question becomes: is this going to be clean? The market, both markets, the ES and the Nasdaq, trekking a little bit lower here, printing some fresh lows. So I was looking at some of these breakdowns. Tesla had already broken down. Amazon is attempting to right now, and then Nvidia was kind of slowly edging towards it. So I was just like, all right, I want to try this a little bit here, see if it'll have me. And it did break that 182, and we didn't quite get down to that low just yet, but we just broke that low. I'm going to give it some time. I'm going to be a little bit patient and see if it actually comes in. I already kind of covered some underneath the 182s when that bid steps in pretty aggressively back through. So I'm looking for a sustain below 182s. And if it doesn't do that, that's fine as well. Where is the next trade? That's what I'm looking for. A little bit of a structure breakdown going in to the second half, the later half of the day with only about a couple hours left, guys. Where will Nvidia close? That V-shaped recovery, I know more than 50% of you voted for a V-shaped recovery. We got a little bit of a V-shape, but not a significant reversion at all. I think we, just eyeballing it, we barely were able to touch about 30% of the reversion here. So 182s, a little bit interesting. Day lows on Nvidia. Let's see if we can crack a little bit lower. I think the market participants have definitely spoken as to who's in charge today.
They most definitely have spoken, man. I'm gonna play a little tracks here as well too. Let's see what we got going on.
What do you like to listen to while you're trading?
I
have a bunch of stuff. It depends on my mood.
I used to listen to lo-fi.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Yeah. I used to listen to.
Nice.
Why does it? See, that's the thing about Chrome. Like, why do I have to have one thing?
Dude, I don't know. Chrome on your PC is a little bit weird, man. And I think both Neil and I have attested to this. It's that something's up with Chrome on that PC. It's not Chrome itself. It's definitely not Chrome itself, but
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, man. Like, why can't I mute one channel? This is disastrous.
Oh, you can only mute one, but you can't mute the other?
Shut out Microsoft Edge. I don't even know what I got going on right now, man. This is disastrous. Why did I try to do it? I got so many things going on in my ear. I don't even know where it's coming from at this point. Oh my days. I got Kevin O'Leary in my ear right now. Where's this coming from? This is insane. Oh, okay, over here. There it is. Okay. All right, let's see if we can get out of this. All right, COVID lows is what is rigged for, COVID lows. I had to trade on Joe's PC one time to do Midday show and Chrome was useless. For sure, he did something to it. My friend, I used Edge. I used Microsoft Edge up until Rob told me, like, hey, there's something wrong with Edge on your PC. I never touched Chrome, I promise. I promise. That I will not lie. I'll remind you guys, excuse me. Oh. Yes, so, yeah, I'm hearing voices. Apparently I am. John Chantrum says, was up 20K, now down 20. Brother, how do you have that kind of pullback? What are you doing? Are you thinking
we've seen that all the time. It doesn't matter what your shutdown is. It doesn't matter if it's, $100, $500, or $5,000, or $10,000, or $20,000. You know what I mean? But like, if you swing, you swing.
Cobb the Kid, what's up, brother? Is that my boy? No, you can't go from plus 20K to negative 18K. No. We don't want that. We don't want. Oh, what did I just do? Oh man, sorry, Cobb the Kid. I did not mean to do that, man. I keep doing those things.
Same thing.
Yo, sorry, Cobb the Kid. I'll get you unblocked. I did not mean to do that. I apologize drastically. I hit the wrong thing. Okay, maybe you're still in there, or did I put you in permanent timeout? I apologize. I'll get Ramin to fix that for me. I did not mean to. You didn't say anything that deserved that. So once again, I'm just a victim of my my fat finger clicking. So Ramin, I'm gonna message you right now. If you can get a certain individual unblocked, that would be absolutely fantastic, because I did not mean to whatsoever. So I'm gonna message you on the side. Thank you, Adara. So yeah, there it is, guys. Market continuing to bleed. Those indecision prints off of those lows, it worked for a little bounce, but after that, it's just continuation to the downside. So you have to keep an eye out on that. And once again, Cop the Kid, I drastically apologize. Obi, I'll let you take it over as I message Ramin here.
Yeah, no, this market continuing to fall lower. Question for you guys: how many of you guys took the short at any point? I got short. Again, great reason to sell here, but I was in a long, didn't re-engage for the back through 184s. That would have been nice, but I did take the push into day low break. But the thing is, day low break, not really clean as of right now. That's why I front ran it a little bit, getting in above the 182s, expecting a little bit of a chop, being like, this is definitely not going to be as clean as as we want to look for it ideally. It's not just going to crack and just continue going lower. In an ideal scenario, yes. But on a day like today, where I've experienced it, I've felt it out, and I'm just like, yeah, it's not. What's the probability of the breakdown being clean? Absolutely not. There it is. That's why I'm covering so aggressively on the push lower and looking to get back in, maybe a little bit higher as well. So you know what? I'll just get out of this one. It is what it is. Where is the next trade? So a quick little scalp through the day low and then picking right back up. Maybe we find a higher low to get involved with. That 184s was quite nice before. Let's see if it shows up once again today on Nvidia. But again, this could just be a false break of the day low, regardless of what it is. In my opinion, in my playbook, good reasons to aggressively buy when it's doing that, whether you're long or you're short. And this is a concept that I like to kind of emphasize as well, where it's just like, if you can look at price action and just keep it extremely simple, not long or short. Forget about being long or short. If you can just take all of that out of the picture and just say, what are reasons to buy and what are reasons to sell? And regardless of whether you're long or short, you act on those reasons. More often than not, you're probably making decent decisions. And you're gonna be positioned indifferent. You're not gonna care whether you're long or you're short. You're gonna care whether you got involved with strong reasons to buy or sell. And I think that does make a bit of a difference in terms of understanding price action as well. You don't want to get too caught up in the numbers. The numbers are just numbers. It is what it is. But in terms of price action, I think definitely a lot more telling. And you've heard the greats say this as well. Traders who have come long before me and have performed significantly much better. Tape is king. At the end of the day, price action is king. So that is one of my principles that I live by for sure. And you know what? It's something that you have to build that trust with the market for.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right, man. Listen, we'll go a little overtime here for the boys. We'll do a quick trade review. Did you do a quick trade review here, Obi, of yours?
Yeah. So
hold on.
Boom,
30 seconds. 30-second trade review. Go.
Boom, boom, boom. Off the open, long Nvidia, good idea. A little bit of a dip, gap give and go, doesn't follow through. Good reasons to sell, breakdown, don't really get involved. Reversion on the overextension, get involved a little too early, but when it does come in, get as aggressive as possible, more aggressive than anywhere here, catch a bit of the turn, and maybe a tape scalp through the day low. That's it.
Boom, 30 seconds, well done. Tesla, 2 attempts to the long side, no go on that one. 30-second trade review, I got 15 left here. Obviously, I have a little bit more, but the trade of the day was this NVDA to the downside here on the 5-minute neckline break and the continuous move to lower pricing. And then we also have the IBIT short, which is still continuously bleeding. We cannot stop this right now as the momentum is most definitely to the downside. Look at the waterfall type price action. That is your 60-second trade review with your boy Joey O. And Obi, he is the one Kenobi. Guys, I hope everyone's had a half-decent session. We've seen a lot of green, a lot of red, a lot going on in today. Well, guess what? I'm going to call it out right now.
Okay.
Today's selling is going to lead tomorrow into a rock and roll Friday.
Okay.
Let's get that going on here, guys. No rundown. We're getting the transition officially to the big desk. So as soon as that's done, everything's going to be coming from there. So a lot going on here. It's looking absolutely fantastic. Good stuff, everyone.
Good luck.
Send it over to Neil.
See you guys tomorrow. Take care.
I have a Christmas